And hello, everybody. We are live here. It's Danny B. I'm your host tonight for the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. We have a good panel here. Iceberg has somehow joined us. We thought that he was going to not be able to join us as he's out in the middle of nowhere in his car. And, oh, gosh, I forgot to mute it on YouTube, and now I hear myself again. That's annoying.
Anyway, are we live? I was waiting for the music intro. Whose channel are we on this week?
That is dead. That is dead.
The meme has died.
Music is dead.
Yeah,
you hear me?
Oh no! First disco and now this.
All right, so here we are tonight. Don't mind Eric. He is doing this traditional podcast style because I don't know. He's self-conscious. I think he's ugly all of a sudden. I don't know.
Honestly, I've been sick the last couple of days. I got maybe an hour and a half of sleep last night. This is probably a blessing in disguise that my laptop was glitching out on me and I couldn't use the webcam. So yeah, you're gonna be looking at this nice. There's a pretty nice photo of me from like a year ago. That's pretty good. Anyway, yeah, that's what you're gonna be looking at. Happy to be here. Let's go. I'm excited.
And of course, we've got Iceberg and his catfish picture here.
Yeah, I'm not a catfish though. No, yeah, I'm sitting here in a Kmart parking lot, and everyone on my end keeps roboting, so I'm just waiting for when I start roboting on everyone. So, ye be warned.
Well, no offense to him, but it can't be as bad as the time we had David Land on here with us, and he was going for the Pocono Mountain. So.
Yeah, no way. Nothing's ever going to top that.
And of course, we've got Darian of Black Flags Matter here.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Darian Gilliam, a.k.a. Black Flags Matter. Just uploaded arguably my most controversial video yesterday and stuff, but it's blowing up right now. So I really appreciate all of the feedback and the opinions you guys wrote in the comments and stuff. So yeah, can't wait to keep uploading more videos.
Yes, I'm sure he appreciates all the people telling him to go like just ruin his life and all that. So
what?
Just joking. And then, of course, we've got our special guest here this week. It's GriffDawg back on the show for this is what, your second time now?
I'm sorry, would you say you're lagging out on my end?
Oh, sorry. So we've got GriffDawg here for your second time.
Yes, I am here for the second time. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it now. So, we had the second Pocono race this weekend. Once again, a big three was the winner, but I don't know. It felt like the race was for the most part okay. Some pretty good competition. Hendrick Motorsports ran really well in this race. My boy Alex Bowman, I can actually wear a shirt. He got a third place finish, so I'll take it. We lost GriffDawg. Okay,
He'll be back.
But yeah. So things ran pretty good for Hendrick Motorsports this weekend. And gosh, let's just go ahead and talk about it now while we can. Bubba Wallace, just thankful to see him alive after that crash.
Dude, I was scared. Like it just came out of nowhere. Like they switched the camp because I figured, Kyle Busch is running away with it and stuff. It's done. And then all of a sudden they just show him like about to hit the wall and stuff. I was like, oh, and for some reason, I don't know why. I thought that was Landon Castle for a moment. I don't know why. I just did. I didn't see like his Bubba's number yet and stuff, but I just assumed it was Castle who spun out and hit the wall. And then I saw Bubba. I saw it was Bubba. I was like, oh gosh. And then he didn't put his window net down. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it was scaring. It was scaring me when it took him so long to put the window net down. I was like, get that net down. Get that net down.
Well, I guess he said he said I think he said he forgot to do that. Like he was just getting unbuckled and everything and stuff, and he was just catching his breath too. But I mean, that's understandable.
He's a rookie.
I could understand that he just probably had the wind knocked out of him, and kudos to Bubba Wallace. He did the smartest thing he could have done by tucking it as far left as he could go into the grass and slowing it down just a little bit because he realized that his brakes weren't working. So he did everything he could to slow it down even a little bit.
I think given how last minute it was, because best case scenario, you want to hang a right and just ride the wall. But I know I heard him talking on Ryan Blaney's podcast about the incident. It was just so last minute, like he was already starting to enter the corner basically before he realized this pedal was all the way to the ground or broke on him. So yeah, I don't know. It's eerily. We've seen that same kind of wreck 2 or 3 times now in the last decade or so, and it's been pretty much equally scary each time. But kudos, of course, to NASCAR and their impressive safety. That none of those big incidents have ever turned out to be serious.
Yeah.
Well, and it's caused by something different than a lot of the accidents we see a lot nowadays. Is the teams have got so good with their equipment, you don't see as many mechanical failures anymore. So it's like when you do see something like that, I think it takes the drivers even more by surprise nowadays. I think just with how good the teams have gotten with their equipment and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but am I the only one that's lagging? Like, I could not hear you guys at all.
It lagged when you jumped in on my end, but that's probably just because I'm sitting next to probably the last Kmart.
I don't know.
I mean, I have to agree with what I gotta agree with what Radman said in his race review and stuff. Like, when you're going like 200 miles an hour and stuff, you don't think like you normally would. So I mean, some were probably thinking, well, why would he go into the grass and stuff? Like, why not just like maybe like go against the wall and scrape some speed off of there though? But I mean, he did the right thing. I think he just tried to slow the car down as much as he could. And this was also what was also very impressive is he didn't take anyone else out. So. There were a couple of cars behind him too, so he was able to avoid taking other cars out as well.
Yes, very true. I mean, that could have, you saw, I think it was Paul Menard. He was really close to him at the time. I mean, if, one bad thing happened, he could have easily collected Paul or somebody else into it.
And also, I just want to end this rumor. Like, everyone on Twitter, right after he said, like, he made the whole I'm not having twins comment, they immediately thought, oh my God, Bubba's having twins and stuff. And his girlfriend basically like shut that down like as soon as he said that. So I don't know. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I haven't seen anything. I watched like the last 10 laps on TV, and the only stuff I listened to of it was from the radio. Like, give or take, I saw different things throughout the race. But what was that interview?
It was just after the crash and stuff. Bubba, I mean, he has a bright personality and stuff. He's always positive and upbeat and stuff. He has, if you were to rank personalities in the sport, his is like easily top 3. And after the crash and stuff, he's like, I can't remember exactly what he said and stuff. Like he said, it was something like, I just got checked out. Like, I'm not having twins, thank God. Something like that.
Oh, so. Okay.
So yeah.
So probably just a funny joke that.
Yeah, and then everyone everyone like took it serious, and I was like, it was just a joke.
People who took that serious are the sarcasm is lost on them.
They would not have sarcastic jokes that wouldn't fly over their head. They would catch it.
And also another reason why Bubba is one of my most liked drivers and stuff. He speaks his mind, and after the race on Twitter, I don't know who this was, but some idiot basically was like, I don't know what everyone's talking about. That crash wasn't deadly at all, and. It was so stupid to the point where I think Jeff Gluck even had to chime in and was like, dude, like, are you a race car driver and stuff? Were you in there? Like, what are you talking about? And then Bubba was like, I can't remember. I think the tweet was something like, well, why don't you strap in the helmet and stuff and hit the wall and let's see what goes through that dumbass mind of yours or something like that. So, I mean, just Bubba, man, just never change, man. Keep speaking your mind, bro.
Yep, for sure. Freedom of speech here.
That's freedom of speech.
So I don't know. I guess anyone else viewed it, but from what I could tell from the radio and what I did see, kind of just seemed like a normal Pocono race for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it was pretty normal and stuff too. I mean, single file the whole time and stuff. But I guess we can get into this a little bit later though. But the Young Guns definitely stepped up. They really stepped up this week. And yeah, I just wanted to say really quick, I think Suarez probably watched our podcast last week because everyone in the comments and us, we were talking about, or at least I was like, maybe his time's running out. He needs to get out of there. Then he goes ahead. He technically wins the pole and ends up getting a runner-up finish too. So what an impressive weekend.
Yeah. So man, he was able to, obviously he would rather finish where he started, but he still. Technically, he stayed where he started from,
Yeah, I mean, I was just expecting him just to fall back. Like, yeah, he has the pole and stuff, but he'll probably fall back to like maybe top 15 and stuff like that. But then, yeah, he's able to stay for the most part inside the top 10 all day.
Yep, that's true.
It's not good enough though. He's gonna have to win. And he didn't do it.
Yeah. He was close.
I know last year he improved as the season went on. So I mean, hopefully he does that again. I would love to see Suarez in the chase or playoffs. Sorry.
Hey, he said he's gonna make it, so
He's close. He ran well at Watkins Glen last year, so you never know. He's running. I think he's running the Can-Am Series race again this week. I don't remember if that's correct. Actually, I know Jones is. I don't know if Suarez is, but
yeah, he could definitely have a good chance.
Putting in that extra work.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is that my pick, that they're gonna get their first career win, but it's not Suarez. So stay tuned for that.
What a tease!
Yeah. That was really funny. Actually, I was listening to the race, and a friend of mine, she texted me. She's like, "Guess what?" I'm like, "What?" "I'm watching the NASCAR race right now at a friend's house. Are you proud of me?" I'm like, "Yeah." "You picked like the worst possible race to watch." I'm like, other than like, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, other than Indy, this is probably the worst race possible to have your introduction. But I mean, at least it wasn't like one of those slogs, where it's just like, oh God, nothing's happening. Because it seemed like on the radio, Harvick had the lead for a while, and then he got shuffled into the pack with some pit stops, and then a bunch of the young guns were fighting up front, and then Busch came in at the end, and it was just like, yeah, sorry kids, this is my turf, But I mean, it seemed like there was some turnover throughout the race. It wasn't just the same three guys out front the entire day in the same order.
The last few weeks have been encouraging.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was just gonna say, just like instead of now the big three aren't dominating the entire race, they only show up really late in stage 3. The last few races, you've had Chase Elliott win stages in back-to-back races.
Yeah.
Almirola led for a while last week. This week, Kurt Busch was up front for a bit. You had Suarez and Jones up there. Hamlin, it was. I think the parity is starting to show up. You're starting to see a few new guys up there towards the front. Jones got his first career win. It's just, I don't know. It's so tough to beat Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick these days. It's just interesting how they're ones able to put together a full race, and it's something that all these other people just are incapable of.
Yeah, just the way we've been seeing everybody slowly improving a little bit more. I really want to keep an eye out for Bristol in a few weeks, because I think that's going to be one where a big three doesn't win.
Oh yeah, that's usually what happens. I mean, usually like guys who are basically struggling or whatever, who aren't running as good as like the big three, or like maybe the top 5 in points and stuff. That track always seems to be sort of an equalizer in a way. Because I remember Stenhouse and stuff in those in his early years in the Cup Series, he would always like run poorly or like mediocre at other tracks. But when we came to Bristol and stuff, he would always run up front.
Like, I think that they're going to run good, because Truex hasn't won there before. He hasn't won on any short tracks actually, but Kyle Busch has won there many times. I don't see him getting a third win in a row at Bristol. Harvick, he's won there in the past. Keep an eye on him, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like when we get to Bristol, that'll be a chance for someone else to get a win. I'm going to look at Blaney and Bowman. They ran really good there in the spring.
Oh yeah, Blaney. Yeah, he was leading the race before Trevor Bayne took him out. Basically right in front of him and stuff.
Yeah.
And even Bubba ran well at Bristol this past time.
Yeah, Bubba ran him down and took the lead.
Oh yeah, dude, that was so awesome. And then I had to leave. Like as soon as he took the lead, I had to leave for class and stuff, and I was listening to it on the radio. But then, yeah, they missed the setup for that last part like completely. So hopefully they did their homework.
I think the last 3 races in general can be complete wild cards, because I'm going to actually make a case for Indianapolis here. But so Darlington, you never know what can happen to Darlington. You can have just a normal race like the rest of the year and results, or you can have someone completely out of nowhere win. But then with fuel mileage and stuff at Indianapolis, you could have somebody, you could have somebody who's running 24th, 25th in points, play the fuel mileage game right, and suddenly you got somebody in the playoffs and you're kicking out Chase Elliott or Alex Bowman or Jimmy Johnson. You don't know whoever's at that cut line. It's a big gap now, but I mean,
yeah,
few wild card winners by the time we get to Indy. And then with fuel mileage, we could really be seeing it shuffled up in the next few weeks.
I just want to give a shout out here real quick to Brendan Nader giving about a $2 super chat here. Opinion on the Almirola and DiBenedetto thing. Honestly, I don't think it's nothing to really be too concerned about. I don't think it's going to be an issue next week.
Yeah, I mean, Almirola runs up front anyways, so there's not going to be that much concern. I can guarantee you. But I mean, I mean, what happened again though? What was the whole situation with that again? I totally forgot about that.
I think just a little misunderstanding. So
probably, yeah. I saw he. Oh yeah, he did. Oh, I was just gonna say one more thing. He did wreck him after the race, though. I remember he did turn him. I just remembered that.
What happened? Because again, like I said, I've seen the bare minimum over the last week.
Come on, man, you're slacking.
I think what happened. I can't. I think someone bumped into one another and it caused a caution, and then after the race, I think it was DiBenedetto who spun Almirola out. I think. So, I don't know. I think it's dead and buried though. I think it's buried though. I wouldn't be too concerned about it.
They were running 25th.
The most thrilling rivalry in the last decade, and it's already fizzled out.
The two nicest guys in the garage area have beef. Isn't that something?
So really quick, I wanted to say this statement, and I was thinking about this today. I was watching basketball earlier. I was watching old basketball, like an old NBA classic game. I think it was like Lakers versus 76ers or something like that, NBA Finals. And I saw, Shaq was dominating and stuff, because he was just so dominant at that position at that time. I mean, the league was basically his. And I was thinking about NASCAR too, and I thought about this. And you can, I don't know, I figured maybe most of you might agree with me on this statement. But to me, Kyle Busch is the equivalent of Shaquille O'Neal in his prime. I mean, he just does not stop dominating in just wherever he runs.
Except he makes free throws, as an Xfinity and truck race.
Yeah, see, the only difference is he makes his free throws, and that's the Xfinity and truck series, and I guess that's a rate of like what 95% of the time.
Kyle Busch is like really. It's hard to say he's dominated, with the exception of this year. I mean, he'll win 3, 4, or 5 races a year, but that's not like dominating. Like he won one championship, and it was a kind of, I don't want to say a fluke, but I think he deserved it. But it's a questionable championship to some people. So like this year he's dominating. I think similar. The difference. I know I didn't watch Shaq in his prime, but I feel like Shaq was always more likable than Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is a little more hateable. Is that the right word?
Hateable, yeah.
Sure.
You're not going to see him do an Icy Hot commercial anytime soon.
No.
Okay. All right. So if we're going to, I guess I'll throw another player in here. Is he like the Dennis Rodman in his prime of NASCAR? Would you say? Because I know Dennis Rodman, he wasn't that likable either.
I would call Ryan Newman the Dennis Rodman. People don't really like Newman. And Newman also gets in people's way.
Yeah, but Newman, he hasn't won in.
He'd be like how the New York. He'd be kind of like how the New York Knicks were back in the '90s compared to the Bulls. Whereas like Kevin Harvick is like the Bulls of the '90s for NASCAR this decade. Where it's just he's the driver who we can definitively say I think over the last 3 or 4 years has been that top team. Whereas Kyle Busch is like sort of the Knicks, who is just the one that is sort of the villain and is popular, but not, and has gained popularity, but at the same time isn't, going to win any popularity contests and has made questionable moves at times and will be more aggressive than the other one. So I guess that'd be sort of be where I would put it more if we're going basketball similarities is Harvick's the 90s Bulls, whereas the 90s Knicks is Kyle Busch.
So with all that being said, this confirms that Ryan Newman is Kim Jong-un's favorite NASCAR driver.
I think Kyle Busch is the modern day Golden State Warriors. They win a lot, but half the people hate him.
Damn, so he's been the Warriors for like his whole career. Essentially, he's the Warriors before the Warriors, I guess. Yeah.
I wanted to shout something out. I was looking at the finishing results again for this last weekend's race, and one thing that I've been paying close attention to, closer than maybe it's worth noting, because I've been looking at the playoff bubble a lot, and it's kind of useless because let's be real, Bowman, Stenhouse, Suarez, even if they make the playoffs, the best they're going to do is maybe round of 8, and that's if something lucky happens. But I've been looking at it, I've been paying attention to it, because last few weeks, Ricky Stenhouse, ever since he had that mess of a race at Daytona, he has sucked. He has absolutely sucked. he keeps getting beat by Kenseth each week, who's in a much worse car. Stenhouse once again finished outside the top 20 this weekend at Pocono. Meanwhile, the reason this is notable is Alex Bowman has started to step it up. He keeps getting top 10s. He finished third this week. And even Daniel Suarez seems to be stepping it up a little bit. So these other guys that are around the bubble, Menard, we've talked about, he didn't have a great week. I don't know where he finished. I think it was like 15
it was
or
like
20th.
20. It was like 20 something. Like he was bad.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, with the exception of this race, he'd been on a little bit of an upswing. So like all these bubble guys are getting better, except for Stenhouse. And I don't know if people are going to say it's karma from Daytona, and maybe they're right, but I just think that's interesting to note.
Yeah. That's a good point.
It's just he keeps blowing his opportunities. I mean, a couple of weeks ago at New Hampshire, I mean, Bowman was running he was running really bad that first half of the race and stuff, and then he wrecks and then Stenhouse wrecks his own self. He just runs into the wall and stuff. And I don't even think he had a flat tire or anything like that. He just I guess he drove too hard and got loose and hit the wall. And then this week too, Kenseth is outperforming him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Stenhouse is stuck in his own head right now. I think that Daytona race really, if that is where it marks his season tumbling off, I think that Daytona race really got to him more than it probably should have. I mean, and then you add on top of that stuff with Kyle Busch before that, in Chicagoland. And I can just say that maybe it's just Stenhouse mentally isn't as tough as these drivers around him, because you've seen Suarez really struggling, but they've been keeping at it, and you haven't seen him really lash out too much the way Stenhouse was starting to at Daytona, and with Kyle Busch. And then you also see, and Menard's the same way. Bowman, all these guys around him really haven't been showing as much weakness as Stenhouse had from about post-race Chicagoland through Daytona on. So, I mean, I think it's not even as much the car's problem, because it seems like the cars have been about the same they've been all year. I think it's just a Stenhouse problem. I think he's stuck in his head on this one.
I 100% agree, because he was running, I want to say, God, was it? I'm getting all my races mixed up, but he was running like 10th. I want to say last week at New Hampshire when he wrecked and hit the wall. He was running 10th. He had a good car, and then he just lost it. And I 100% agree. I think it is part of why I bring it up is I do think driver has a large part to do with it, not just with Stenhouse, but also the fact that Suarez and Bowman are doing better. I think they're more focused. I don't know. Stenhouse has been a streaky driver in his career, but unfortunately he's had more bad streaks than good streaks. He's the guy that, like Jack Roush, pulled to the side and said, "You got to stop wrecking cars" way back in the day. So Stenhouse has had kind of has had his shaky moments. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I just wondered what you guys thought about it.
And also, just really quick, if Kenseth ends up getting a full-time ride with Roush Racing next year, I tweeted this out, he won't make the playoffs. I mean, I agree. It's not that hard to make the playoffs. I mean, you have to get. I guess the average finish you would need to make the playoffs in on points is maybe somewhere in the 18 and a half, and with a couple top 10s here and there and stuff. I think that's what Bowman's average finish is. So I mean, it's not that hard to make it in. So
and if you have drivers dominating like it is now, and you only have 5 or 6 winners, that makes it so much easier to make it on points. I mean, the first few years, it was like 12 people were winning, so there's only there's 4, 5, 6 open spots. So you got guys that are running 11th in points who are on the bubble, whereas now you got guys who are running what's Bowman right now, like 14th or 15th in the actual points. So it makes it that much easier, and it sets the bar lower when there's more winners like this. So I could see the next year or two, I think it'll be a lot easier to make it on points if they don't change the system. Which I think that's the big question that should be up in the air in the next few years if it's not finishing the way. But that's a whole nother bag of worms or can of worms or whatever. But I think that definitely he can make it the next 2 years. And if Roush can start turning it around the way Ford has, especially with how Penske and Wood Brothers have, I could totally see Kenseth taking that team back. I don't think they'd be championship contenders, but they could make it probably round of 12, round of 8, knowing just driver alone.
Hey, Rasheem Stewart, thanks for the $1 donation. You asked the question, who is my favorite driver? Well, look at my shirt, Alex Bowman.
You got
your thanks a lot, Rasheem. Yeah, I mean, I have to. Yeah, so basically, pretty much said what I said as well. I've just been focusing just mostly on the top 10 I mean, top 10, in my book, at least on my channel, a top 10 season is a good season. 11th on back, that's basically mediocre and stuff. So I've just been focusing on the top 10 and stuff. And right now, if we ran just consistent points, and if we ran like the old chase and stuff like that, then the battle for 10th is actually a lot closer than what people think. I believe Blaney's holding the 10th place spot, but I think he's only like maybe 10 or 15 points ahead of Hamlin. I'll just have to look that up really quick.
Did Blaney struggle again this week? Because I knew he was running in the back for a little bit, but I didn't know where he finished.
Yeah, I think
he finished 12th.
Well,
That's been good for the last 2 or 3 months for him.
Yeah.
Aside from like 1 or 2 races here or there. I know people want Blaney, and I want Blaney to be up there, but I don't think with how they've been running, they just need to focus on fixing it for next year, preparing for then, because I think they're not championship contenders.
Really, all of Penske's not been that good. Like, yeah, Joey won, but I mean, it was just Talladega. I mean, let's just saying how it is right now.
Well, I mean, I don't know about all that and stuff. Maybe they're just a little off, but right now Logano's 4th, Brad Keselowski 7th, and I mean Blaney's 10th. I mean, all 3 cars are in the top 10. Probably the past few weeks, yeah, they struggled a little bit and stuff.
It's surprising to me that Brad hasn't won yet this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which might play into my picks tonight, but not entirely decided yet.
And it's surprising that Busch hasn't won, Keselowski hasn't won, Larson hasn't won, Hamlin hasn't won, and also Blaney hasn't won either. That's surprising as well, so far. But I mean, they just got to step it up. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
So I'm sitting here, I'm looking at paint schemes for this weekend. We got a lot of new looking paint schemes in the race this weekend.
Can I just say that Chase Elliott one? My gosh, who
beautiful,
does that?
Just exquisite. Yep.
Who does that?
What about the
why?
William Byron one?
And that William Byron one, that was something I would make in like NASCAR Thunder 2004 in like the custom paint booth when I was like 6. Like, oh, let me just do a plain old paint scheme here and stuff. Like y'all couldn't put a little thing on the side of the car or whatever. Y'all just went. Ugh, it's lazy.
Have they gone cheap on their designs? Have they literally just paid a child $5 to design now?
Probably,
Well,
I guess.
At least their focus isn't all on their paint schemes. It's on like
True.
improving. I mean, I know there's a lot of teams where it's like you'll see years they suck, but it's like, hey, at least we look good while we suck.
Well,
hey, we're trying.
I'll say it like this: Starcom Racing has some of the best looking cars in the field, but look at how they're running. So,
I mean, Jeffrey Earnhardt, I like that paint scheme. I saw it in person in Vegas and stuff, but then he was let go 2 races later.
We got Eric Almirola is in the Go Bowling car, so he's going to be the title sponsor boy this weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is called
not title sponsor, but race sponsor.
Yeah, Go Bowling or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. That is the sponsor this week.
Ricky Stenhouse is running the Ford. Kyle Busch has got a new one this week. He's running the M&M's Mint Toyota.
That car was nice.
You got to vote for that
thing.
I think you got to vote for that, didn't you?
Yeah. Eric Jones has got that.
That's what Kyle drove that like Richmond or whatever, like the 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what he did.
Yeah.
Eric Jones has got the Toyota this week, same one he had there at Daytona. I mean, the William Byron one, I think the original Hertz paint scheme looked better, but at least this yellow pops out enough that it doesn't look terrible.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what car he is on the track.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't look bad, but still.
Just really quick. This is probably just me, but every time I just think of Hertz on a NASCAR, I just immediately think of O.J. Simpson because of the old Hertz commercials and stuff. But I don't know. It's probably just me.
I mean, I just think of like the Penske cars when they was with them, which I still was confused to see them actually leave from Penske. I feel like they had a better relationship going on there, but
yeah, true.
Ryan Newman is in Lucas Oil this weekend, so that's interesting to see a Lucas Oil car out there.
Oh, really? I thought Eric Jones was in the Craftsman car this week. I thought it was this week he was in that car.
Not this week. I think at Bristol they're going to have it.
Lucas Oil. They used
I think
to
it's Ryan
sponsor Morgan
Priest
McClure,
who's done
right?
that.
Sorry, what was that? What was that, Jared?
Lucas Oil. They used to sponsor. I know they sponsored guys in the ARCA like Bobby Gerhart, but didn't they sponsor like Morgan McClure back in the day?
And also,
Yeah, I think
Mike
so.
Wallace. Mike Wallace. They sponsored that car in 05.
Chris Buescher's got a nice looking Velveeta cheese car.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Let's see. Looking for anything else that stands out. Kyle Larson has DC Solar this weekend.
I want to say really quick, I'm looking like out my window here in this parking lot, and off to sort of the northwest, I see some really dark clouds. So if I like buzz out all of a sudden, that's why. Danny, I think you passed your curse of bad weather to me. It seems like every stream now I'm having to warn about thunderstorms around me.
Oh, hey, it's like been raining here all day. It's actually supposed to rain all week here, so
It's pretty hot over
rain
here.
in Watkins. They're racing in Watkins Glen, right?
Yeah.
My brain is so far removed from NASCAR right now. I'm trying to collect everything together and get it all. Just holding it. It's like trying to hold Play-Doh in your hand and squeeze tighter, and it just keeps popping out.
You want to know? I'm still looking here at some of the paint schemes and stuff. Bubba Wallace's car this weekend. I feel like any new sponsor that they get that they don't really have a good idea of what kind of like wrap to go with for it, they just automatically give it the STP colors.
And what's the sponsor this week?
Medallion Bank, but it's STP colors basically.
Well, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess.
Oh yeah, can I just say really quick too? I liked his paint scheme and stuff last week for that new Mark Wahlberg movie and stuff, but there was a major flaw in it and stuff. Like the numbers were the same colors as like when I saw the paint scheme, I'm like, why is the number on top on the roof the same color as and then why is like the other why aren't they like reversed? Like why isn't the side number all like that reddish color, and why isn't the top white?
That bothered me. That bothered me too. I had to look at it for a second. I was like, wait, did the roof decal come off?
Yeah, I was like, I had to look for a second. I was like, wait, where's the number? I'm like, oh, it's right there.
Yeah, it was definitely confusing me too. Alex Bowman will have his nationwide children's charity car this weekend with the butterflies. So that'll be a nice one. And that's really it for anything big in the Cup Series looking different.
You missed one. Max Kenseth is driving a pretty purple.
I did forget to talk about that one.
Yeah. I'm just excited to see purple on his car again. I loved his Crown Royal cars from 2010, 2011.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Really good looking.
Oh, someone was saying about Craftsman. They are actually with Ryan Priest this weekend in the Xfinity Series.
Oh,
yeah, right.
okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Yep.
Kyle
I had
Larson.
something I wanted to ask you guys, but I forget what it was now. Oh, gosh.
I'm looking out my window, and there's 4 semi-trucks with just logs. Just giant logs all the way down them. I don't know why I brought it up to you guys. It's just...
Give us the report on I-25. What's going on out there? Is there a cow in the middle of the road? Traffic
no, but a biker has stopped traffic, and you got to cross.
They're installing
He's trying to get home before the storm starts.
This is like the plot of Twister.
Yep, this is basically it. Eric Almirola is double duty this weekend. He's driving the number 98 in the Xfinity Series, and he's again got Go Bowling on that car.
Hey, and one of the brief moments I was able to get on Twitter this past week, I did see something, Darian, you put, and I think that a lot of people should appreciate it. I don't know how many of you guys saw it. As Dorothy is riding behind the car, is that we need to appreciate how good of racing July gave us. In every series.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Just top to bottom. It's like almost every race you turned on had something that was unique about it. It had something, it didn't even necessarily have to be like an amazing finish like Chicagoland or a first time winner like Daytona, but just each race was fun. Even the ones that were, quote unquote boring, still had something that made it fun about it. And it's like that's something that I think has been missing from the sport for a while now. And I don't know, I think based on the tweet, Darian, you agree, but I want to hear like what you guys kind of think about it, because I it's been the most fun top to bottom I've seen in the sport in a while.
July was awesome.
We've definitely had a lot to talk about in July.
I hope it just doesn't like go downhill. Like hopefully August just isn't the most boring month, of racing.
Well, it doesn't have to be, because here brings me into our next subject we can talk about. The rumors of this 2019 package.
Dude, I watched Radman's video, and then I watched Kamikaze's too. They're basically saying the same thing. Like, they're talking about reducing it to 550 horsepower. Aren't there like street cars that are faster than that? Yeah.
Oh my God!
You didn't hear about that?
I mean, I heard about it. I didn't realize how much reduced it was going to be. Like,
if they
is out there, guys.
If they do that, then gosh, a 500 lap race better go down to 300.
And they're talking about doing that for Vegas too.
They're like doing it for basically every intermediate track.
Like, when are they going to learn? God, like when are they going to learn that to fix the racing, you have to change the aero package, not the what's under the hood. You have to change the whole car. You know,
people have been begging to take away the tapered spacer since before it was implemented, and they're just going to double down on this. Good God. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't make sense, really. I think, what you said there, Darian, I talked about that in my video that I uploaded today, is NASCAR seems to think that the only way to fix the aero package is to just slow the cars down and mess with the engine, whereas everyone's been crying for years now that the bodies of the car needs to change. That's going to be what makes the biggest difference and won't sacrifice horsepower. Because, they took away the restrictor plates for this proposal, because it's fair to say.
Thank God they did.
They take away the restrictor plates, but they're basically going to achieve a similar effect with the tapered spacer and lowering the horsepower as much as they are. And so it's unclear. Like, I feel like a lot of people, I don't like it, but I want to just throw it out there. Like, I'll give it its fair. If this is in fact what they roll out, I'll give it its fair shake, because I'm not going to lie. The All-Star race was arguably one of the top 3 most entertaining races I've seen this year. And you can argue like it doesn't feel like real racing, and I feel a little guilty watching it. But I'm just saying, there's a real. I think, and I talked about this in my video too today. I wish NASCAR would communicate more with the fans what sort of data they're looking at when they make these decisions. Because are they just simply looking at, wow, a lot of fans really like the All-Star race, like on face value? It's like, oh yeah, because most people thought that was a good race, so they just assume that's the way to go. It feels like they're not looking deep enough. If they look at comments, if they look at people like us, what we're saying, it's. There's the All-Star race package isn't the end goal. It's a step, perhaps. There's attributes of it that I think work, but it's not exactly what we want. And NASCAR, I think, didn't understand that, and this disappoints me, because I've said for a little while now that I think NASCAR had heard our complaints. That's why they've been tweaking and testing new aero package. But I am disappointed, because I thought they'd heard us deeper than that. I thought they heard us. I thought they'd heard our solutions as opposed to just our complaints. Like, I get it, like, oh, we know the air package has to change, but the fans have been saying what needs to specifically change, and NASCAR seems to have ignored that aspect of it, and that's disappointing.
Yeah, and I just want to really quick.
Listen to this right here. CH14 put this in the comment section. Fun fact: the 2019 proposed package has less horsepower than a street legal Camaro.
Yeah. I think a street legal Camaro is like 650, 600. Like, so we're at this point where legal street cars are faster than the on-track product. Like, that's a huge problem. I'll give NASCAR this though. I'll give them this. At least they're trying something. At least they're not just like doing nothing. Like, oh, we're not going to change anything for a while and stuff. We'll just, see what happens and stuff. At least they're doing something. I'll give them that. But it's like the drivers, the fans, we all say we want one thing, and then it's like they just completely do something like the total opposite on purpose.
Well, so remember after the All-Stars, I think is it Bubba Wallace or was it Kyle Larson? One of them saying how it's too easy to drive the cars.
Larson.
Okay.
I think Bubba said it
Larson
too, though.
saying it was too easy to
Or
drive
both.
the cars. Might have been both. I know more than one driver said it, but it's too easy to drive the cars. What is the one complaint that every NASCAR, like non-NASCAR fan, that every NASCAR fan has to hear from non-NASCAR fans? Oh, it's just going fast and turning left. That's literally what each race would be. They would just be on the gas the whole time, turn left. The only difference I say comparing a 1.5 mile track like Chicago, Charlotte, Kansas to a Daytona, Talladega is that the size makes the racing different. But it's like we saw with the All-Star race, for the most part, it was just them going fast, turning left, full throttle the whole time. And while it was side by side, there wasn't as much passing per se as I think a lot of people would like. It was fun, and I think it's something that they should try to do for the All-Star race as a 1-year thing. I think we've said that before, but it's like I don't see how doing this for half the races, how you can defend that, this racing isn't just going fast and turning left. There's more to it. I can't see how you defend from that when that's really what the drivers say it is. They're driving cars that are the same or less horsepower than a street car. It's just, it's sort of neutering and synthesizing the racing, in my opinion.
Yeah,
no, I completely agree. I think it's one of those deals where the NASCAR fans are split in the sense that some just want the racing to be fun, and to be fair, I think that's what the All-Star race was. Although a lot of people felt kind of guilty watching it. A lot of racing purists want the cars to go as fast as they're capable of, and not have and eliminate the aspects of the body, the Gen 6 body that causes side force and downforce and all that stuff to be so important. So it's just like, I don't know where I was going with this. It's difficult to understand how NASCAR comes to these conclusions when we know for a fact every driver that's spoken about the All-Stars package was like, it's good for an All-Stars package, but that's it. Nobody said anything further than that. And most of the fans say the same thing. So I just don't know where they come to this conclusion. And I wish they would be more transparent in how they how they make these decisions. Like, what data are they looking at that says this is what will bring more revenue, this is what will bring more eyeballs? Like, what are they looking at? That's what I want to know.
Well, and I think if this goes through, it shows that the driver council they made a few years ago really doesn't have all that much power in the sport.
I
And
forgot about that. Yeah.
They don't have any power at all.
Well, I mean, every now and then something will happen. It's like, listen, the driver council said this or whatever. But I think no one really knows to what extent, which I think we all can agree it probably doesn't have that big of it. But if it's like they go through with this and make this decision, we know that driver council has pretty much as much power as we do in decision making in the sport.
And also, I want to point out this
talking head.
And also, I want to point out this package. It's like it's boring to drive. Did you guys watch the Xfinity Pocono race this year? In the summertime? Early summer. That was like so boring, and I think NASCAR realized that, and they were making like little decisions and stuff. Like, I tune in each week to see, how fast these cars can go and stuff, and also to see, the driver's skill set and stuff, like, where they can put the car in, like where they can put, like, the fastest car, in, where they can fit the car and stuff, where they can finish and stuff. Basically, if we use this package and stuff, that whole All-Star package or whatever and stuff, like, it honestly does not take as close, like, it doesn't take any skill. Like, all you have to do is just press the gas pedal and just like turn left the whole time. That's literally what it will be. I mean, if that's the case, like, honestly, I don't know. This probably isn't the right thing to say, but I'm just going to say it. If that's the case, then you can pretty much just sign anyone up. And I mean, you can probably sign most people up and just, they can just do that. I mean, there's no skill set in it. You just got to press the gas pedal and turn left. And also, Mark Martin has said this, and he said this on Twitter, or I think it was either Keselowski or Mark Martin, or maybe both. If we go with this package, it's going to turn away other up-and-coming drivers. They're probably going to be like, well, I mean, I don't want to do this. I mean, it's just these cars are so boring to drive. I'll go race something else. So, like, the talent pool is also going to is also going to take a huge hit if we go with this package.
Kyle Larson's barely wants to be in the Cup Series as it is now. You implement this, he's going to be out of here.
Yeah, like, so we have a generational talent And he might just leave if we go. He's like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna go back and race dirt, and I wouldn't blame him for
If
that.
the money's there, there'll still be people racing in NASCAR. But
Yeah, I don't. As long as there's money there, I don't think too many people are going to get that upset about it.
But I think it also will change how the drivers drive for a bit, seeing how I think the drivers still don't drive primarily for money in this series. I really don't. I think, with the money they get, they're set. They drive because they love to do it. But I could totally see a few drivers coming in who just are going for a quick, easy paycheck. I could see that. And drivers who don't deserve rides but get up there because, I assume they're probably going to, if they say, oh, look, this looks like it's working well, and they might implement it in the bottom two series also. So you could see drivers who might not deserve to make it up through the ranks get up there,
With that being
change a lot.
With that being said, I would never pass down a chance to start and park as long as it was a good paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, why would you? Back in the day, Last Row Joe was making $90,000 a race for running 13 laps.
That's
They
crazy.
weren't even road courses. There wasn't a lot of laps.
And also, again, just want to point out, this is just a proposed package. Nothing's 100% confirmed yet.
Yeah.
This is just a proposed package. It could change. Maybe they might listen to what we have to say. I probably doubt it, but maybe they might listen and be like, you know what? Let's completely revamp the car. Oh, I'm just going to say this. I'm waiting for the X3 car to come out. That's all I'm going to say. Hopefully by 2020 it comes out.
I think
if anything, this should make the fans vote. The fans need to voice their opinions about this car more than ever. I think Kamikaze said something about that in his video of you've got to let them know, like, one way or another, whether it's talking to, you can talk to a lot of these people, these higher up people that go to the races at the track. You can talk to Mike Helton's around the infield, and so is Pemberton and all these guys. They go into the infield with the fans, so you can talk to them. I mean, it's and on top of that, with Twitter and whatnot, fans can make it known, I think, still in the sport of what they want. Whether or not they'll listen to what we want, that's a different story, but they can definitely be heard. I don't think that fans should give up on that because of hearing this. I think this should be more than ever like, listen, let them know this isn't the right answer.
The last thing I want to say quickly, and I think you're exactly right, Jared. I think that's something we should all be doing. But I think in trying to look for an explanation as to why NASCAR would go after this package and maybe even just ignore what all of us are saying, and what I'm trying to think is the only explanation I can think of is perhaps NASCAR is trying to completely jump the shark and completely rebrand themselves as a like they want to differentiate themselves from F1 and IndyCar. F1 and IndyCar, very, 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 what's the word? Polished, last single file, very, calculated cornering. NASCAR is known for being kind of the rough sport. Their mindset might just be, you know what, screw all the old fans. We're not getting enough new ones. These old fans are going to start dying out or losing interest as they get older anyways. We might as well just completely restart from scratch and brand ourselves as the chaotic type of racing league with big packs, the occasional big wreck, and just have that be our brand. And that could be their mindset to creating all-star race packages left and right. And honestly, it might piss a lot of us off, but maybe they think that'll save them. That could the new next generation of kids could enjoy that.
Trust me, from
to the American fan base. I mean, American fan base compared to most, even American motorsports, just American sports fans in general. They want action. They want more or less instant gratification all the time. There's a reason that we're not talking about shortening basketball, hockey, or football games, but we're talking about shortening NASCAR races and in baseball games. So I mean that might be
good point.
I mean that might be a way to get that elusive casual fan, I guess. So there is that. Yeah.
And trust me, from a business standpoint, I can totally understand NASCAR for wanting to do that.
I'm just trying to get inside their heads any way possible. And that's the only rational explanation. I still don't think that's a good idea.
No.
I mean, that's not what NASCAR was in the 90s and 2000s, and it was huge. So I don't think that's the right idea, but that's the only rational explanation I can think of for why they'd seriously go forward with a package like this.
You're trying to find NASCAR's logic. I don't think that exists at this point.
That won't stop me from trying to find it.
What's the definition of insanity? We're trying the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Oh my gosh! One of these days, I will finally fall over that waterfall, and it'll all be over.
And also, I wanted to point this out too. I saw some comments that says, yeah, IndyCar is in a boom period. Like, well, NASCAR is still beating them in the ratings. So I wouldn't say it's not even close. They're not in a boom period. Maybe as far as the on-track product, you could make an argument for that. But I'm just like, as far as ratings go, it's not even close still. So
they're definitely on an upswing, but yeah, it's definitely nothing like. A boom would be if it overtook NASCAR. That's where I'd say, okay, IndyCar is in a boom. Generally, like even NASCAR. I mean, even NASCAR and what some people are saying is the dead sport it is. Thinking it is still just destroying everything else motorsports in America. So
absolutely,
if it can like start knocking on tapping on NASCAR's back and making them sweat, then I'd say IndyCar's in a boom. And I think, I think it's definitely in an upswing and there's a potential boom they could have. But until then, I can't say they are.
Well, Jacob Hunt, he makes a good point. He's like, yeah, if you look at the TV deal for IndyCar next year, they'll have more national TV races than NASCAR. Yeah, that is true. But, I mean, if more people still watch NASCAR, then what's the point?
Well, I think the problem for Indy is that for so long now, NASCAR has just been known. I mean, for more than a generation at this point.
Well, IndyCar is known too. I mean, they're known too.
No. I was finishing my point. It's been known for more than a generation now as the main motorsport of America. Like,
true.
I mean, they did a poll, I think, a year or two ago, and more Americans know what the Daytona 500 is compared to the Indy 500. And these aren't racing fans; it's just normal people.
Is it close?
It used to be like Indy 500 blew Daytona away with just moderate people who don't watch at all. Now it's like Daytona beating them by like 10 points. So that IndyCar has that big hurdle, and I think that's something NASCAR shouldn't take for granted, because I think if NASCAR remains complacent with that, which I think with this changing of stuff shows they're not, they could lose that. But I don't know. I don't think IndyCar is going to pose as much a threat to NASCAR as a lot of people are thinking. I think it's just that, again, so many people have been used to NASCAR being on the up and up that for the past 10 to 15 years with it going down the way it has, it seems like the end of the world. Yeah. I guess that's where my long-winded, loosely held together stance on it is.
I think we made some good points.
Oh,
yeah.
I think that was a good discussion.
Yeah.
I don't mind if I say something.
Yeah.
I've been very quiet this entire time and just letting you guys all talk and whatnot. And it's because of the lag. Like, I honestly want to chime in, but I just keep hearing these boop, 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 and I don't know. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's Danny. It was a little annoying, but anyway, I don't know.
Talk over us, man. It's good.
Anyway, that's why it's quiet. I don't know. I have this show, GriffDawg, and I'm not talking at all. Anyway, okay, I want to just chime in this whole package thing, and everyone's saying oh, it's the end of the world, oh, NASCAR's dying, blah blah blah. But it's what I've honestly been thinking a lot is us as YouTubers and us just as fans can save NASCAR. And the reason why I say that is because we know what's right. We know the direction that it goes with. Those corporate guys above, all they see is numbers and money, while we see actually what we care about. And what I'm saying is, if we could get a bunch of people together and just rebuild it from scratch, which is what my One More Spark series is. It's just this idea of what if we start again? What if we do something new? What if we just start it all over, just break down whatever mess NASCAR is doing right now and just start over again. Get the Gen 4 stock cars back. Let's bring back some of the sponsors that left us and just have a good time. Not everything has to be political all the time. Not everything has to be. It's so annoying how it's oh, you gotta like this or you gotta not like that. It's just just shut up and enjoy it. Just enjoy the fact that we have NASCAR. Enjoy the fact that we have this racing that we have. Not everything has to be oh, this is great, but we don't have to like this. And it's NASCAR's trying to reach out to that, not the diehard fans, but that general person. And it's ridiculous because, as you said, where it's everyone's turning left and whatnot, and it's it's going to turn people away, which is why us, like the diehard fans that know how to build it from scratch. Like if we get people that like know how to build video games so that we could build a legit NASCAR video game, like the next NASCAR Racing 2003 season, get some guys that can like, I don't know, make like the star cards, like the diecast, like, I don't know, like get me, Gino Harvey or other people together and just like make every diecast without having it be like canceled, you know? And I know this is like literally coming out of nowhere, but just like this has been bubbling in my head. And it's just like, you know, it's not dying. It's not going to, you know, perish. We can save it, but we gotta like we gotta let those higher ups know that we can't take it anymore. And like something needs to change, but not in the direction that they think that we want, because they don't know what we want. They're not listening to us. All they care about is the numbers and the money, and that's all that matters. So
if we could all somehow
Sorry.
summon, if we can all, oh no, dude, you were preaching the whole time, man. All hell GriffDawg, man. If we could somehow, you know, get a meeting with the top execs of NASCAR and they heard, you know, what, you know, we had to say and stuff and, you know, what's going on, I think they would actually listen. But like, they're so stuck in, you know, the whole corporate, you know, their whole like corporate mindset, like, oh, you know, we're fine. We're still making money off the, you know, the TV deals and stuff like that. So we don't really have to like, you know, make improvements and stuff like that. You know, that's, I don't know. That's what
I just don't think that we would. First of all, I don't think we would get to it. I think we would just more or less get laughed at for being kids, basically. So
I will say,
come on, man, you gotta stay positive about that, bro. You gotta stay positive, man. I mean, if you guys really want to change the sport and stuff, we gotta start doing something about it. Like a lot of people, they just complain and stuff like that too and stuff. You know, I feel like us as YouTubers, I don't think we're doing like, you know, a whole lot, but at least we're doing something. Like, you know, we're making content. We're talking about, you know, what needs to be said. You know, we're still, you know, being honest. We're saying what's on our mind and how we feel about the sport and stuff. And I think that that helps, you know, to a certain extent too. And also, you know, getting drivers on the pod. Yeah, and I mean, also getting drivers on the
go together. You know, this is where, you know, our, you know, the audience. There's so many teens, kids, and people in their 20s in our audience. You know, this is, you know, I won't say this is something that can completely change it, but it's something that it's somewhere where somebody with ideas who might want to be going up through the sport in the next few years, where they might get an idea for something. Why not? And I agree that, I mean, for so long I was just complaining. I'm like, I hate this, I hate that. Okay, what are you doing with it?
Somebody just said, Corvette Racing 48 said, NASCAR needs a fan council. They have a drivers council, so they can add a fan one. They actually do have a fan council, I think.
Well,
it's
I
useless.
signed up for it. I signed up for it. All it is, this is literally just fair warning for everyone who might see it and be like, oh God, I got to sign up. What it is, you sign up, they ask you what tracks you might want to go to, and you put it in, and then every week they send you a brochure of stuff you can buy from that track. That's all it is. It's nothing. They don't ask for your opinion on anything. They don't, you know, they just basically, what tracks do you think you'd go to? They send you stuff so that you might pay them for stuff. That's all.
So it's a joke. So it's basically a joke.
Yeah, sign up for a newsletter.
Yeah, it basically is it. And I've had to cancel so many times. Like this coming year, it's like I'm just not even gonna put anything because I don't want to see you. Oh, you know, you could be in Pocono this week. I'm in Wisconsin. Like, no, leave me alone. You know, it's they need it. Yeah, they need an actual fan council, and the hard part about that is you have to verify like who's actually like a fan, who's not going to completely waste your time. Doing anything with them will cost you probably not money, but time that you could be spending on other stuff. So while I don't think they'll do something like that, I think in theory that would be a great idea.
I think we are underestimating. This may be hard to believe, but I personally think we're underestimating NASCAR slightly, which at least in this conversation right here. I don't think they need a fan council to see what's wrong. The numbers speak for themselves. They see the numbers. I know the numbers are still okay for now, but they're not. I am 100%. They have enough people up there. They're not stupid enough to sit here and be like, yes, these are sustainable numbers. They know something has to change. That's why the All-Star Race package was experimented with. And I also want to point out, this is kind of a criticism actually, but I think it was like a year or two ago, they hired a new president, Brent Dewar, to kind of literally be the channel between the fan voice and NASCAR corporate, basically. And I'll give him credit. I see him on Twitter a lot. He's liked some of my tweets. I see him all around. He is engaging with fans on social media. But I'm confused as to if he's really doing that and reporting back to the other higher ups at NASCAR, why do we get things like this proposed aero package that clearly isn't what the majority of fans wanted? So there's still a broken bit of communication in there. But I think, I don't know. I think we are slightly underestimating NASCAR in that sense. They know that something has to change. I think they're maybe a little off base as to what that change specifically is. Like, I don't know if you guys heard, I didn't hear it, but I read some of the quotes. But when Brian France was on the XM radio for an interview last week, they asked him, specifically one thing that stuck out, they asked him a question about future schedule changes, and he just refused to say anything of substance. He basically said, the schedule's pretty full right now. And it's like, well, we're not asking you about right now. We're asking you about 2 or 3 years from now. So no answers. It's a failure to communicate between the fans and NASCAR, despite the fact that they seem to be implementing people and positions that are supposed to solve that issue, and it's not being solved. So I don't know if a fan council, I don't think would solve it because they basically have that already and it's not working.
Yeah, I can. I think we kind of covered it indirectly that there's not one definitive thing we can do. Like as fans, as NASCAR as a whole. I think that I feel like I'm lagging in real life. No, they got complacent early in their steady tumble, and they were like, everything's fine, until the point that now it's snowballed at this point that I think they do realize, and I think they realize to the extent. I think the problem is it's so late, and I think their goals are still, we should try and get back to 2009 2008 levels kind of thing. I think NASCAR needs to just make the fans they have now happy. Like, you got to get that core happy. You got a very young fan base coming up that's interested in your sport. I think making them happy right now, even though it won't make some of them, like for instance, the playoff system, I know it makes a lot of younger fans happy, whereas it doesn't make me happy. But if it's to help NASCAR in the long term, I can live with it. I can watch for just the races, and maybe over time I'll start to enjoy it. It's just one of those things. It's definitely NASCAR's fault it's got to this point. Mm-hmm. I think there's been some outside factors. There needs to be something direct,
Justin Salinari makes a good comparison here. Says NASCAR is acting how Vince McMahon is with WWE, where they don't care what anyone thinks or wants. It's their sandbox. And yeah, I can definitely see the comparison there. Most of the fans of the wrestling don't like the push and use of the wrestler Roman Reigns, but they insist on putting him as their guy. So I can definitely see that comparison there.
I want to make a quick analogy, and I don't know if it really makes sense, but baseball has, their views have kind of grown stagnant, so they're trying to speed up the pace of play. And that's been a thing that a lot of old school baseball fans really don't like. They're like, I don't mind a baseball game being 4 hours long if it's baseball. Everyone loves baseball. You got players like David Ortiz, who's like, I'm going to take my time getting up to bat. I'm not going to go by any clock. And I feel like NASCAR's in a similar spot where I think when they make things like the playoffs, they're kind of they're innovating in a way that they think makes sense for the future, and they are ignoring past generations. And I said this a while ago, and I kind of backtracked on it because I originally had this mindset that NASCAR needs to kind of forget about fans age 50 and older. NASCAR needs to kind of ignore what they want and just do what they think will engage younger fans going forward. And I believed that at first. Then I kind of went back and I was like, no, I think they just need to make good racing. I'll be honest. I feel like nowadays NASCAR is doing that. What I said originally, they are kind of ignoring the 50 and up or 60 and up fans, and they are just doing their own thing now. And I don't know if I like it. And obviously it's going to change. It's going to change a lot of people's opinions, and I don't know if it's going to be for the best or not. I'm still over here trying to make sense of why they would implement these rules packages the way they are. It still doesn't make sense to me. I'm desperately trying to make sense of it all.
So I guess I'm just going to end that whole topic we were just talking about with this. And then maybe we can move on and just talk about GriffDawg Summer Series really quick, and then make our picks and stuff and talk about whatever. But it's like I said before, a lot of fans, they just, they complain and stuff like that too. But I mean, eventually and stuff, it's already kind of starting to get old and stuff. Like, I understand, we got a lot of stuff, but I mean, we we gotta, eventually we have to all start doing something about it or whatever. I don't know exactly what we would need to do and stuff, but I mean, I guess a start is, I guess for the young generation who are younger than me and stuff, maybe like if you want to try and help change the sport from the inside and stuff, whether it's, working for NASCAR and, the media or whatsoever, so you can give your opinions on it and stuff, go to your local short track, go intern there and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Go intern there and stuff, go watch races. And then maybe, eventually start working up there, honing your craft. And then, go to your, wherever, NASCAR races and stuff, intern there and stuff. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. You know what I'm saying? Like, like if you're going to change the sport, try and change it from the inside. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that a lot of people, it's something simple that people probably don't think about. And I think that's something that a lot of younger fans should think about. I mean, I guess I'm saying that because I'm starting my internship on Tuesday. But I mean, I don't know exactly what they're gonna have me do, but I mean that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, if there's any other suggestions, just let us know in the comments and stuff. But other than that, I mean, we've been talking about that topic for a while now, so I guess what I'm trying to say is
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, finish your thought.
No, I was just saying. I was saying like we should probably move on to GriffDawg Summer Series and then make our picks. But go ahead.
Okay, I mean, I just have one, I guess, question/theory. So you guys know how like Brian France isn't like, how do you say it? He's interesting, if you will, in terms of when he like speaks. Like it almost seems like every time he speaks, like it's not, I don't know, controversial, if you will. Just what if he has not as much control as we think? Like, what if there is like a higher up that's like almost telling him what to do and not do? And I just wonder, like, how much control or power does he have? Because looking at nowadays, how much like money's sponsors are given to the drivers, I wonder if the sponsors have more power than like what Brian France has. I just wonder.
I get what you're saying. So basically what you're saying is maybe the sponsors are kind of telling him what to do. It's like, hey, we'll stop. Well, it's like, I don't know. It's like maybe sort of the same way how, politicians get bought to a certain extent.
That's, in a weird, strange way. Yeah, like that's kind of what I'm thinking, because like back in the day with like Bill France Jr., he's more open, he talked more, but now just the way how businesses are so big and how much they're so like commanding and controlling, it just makes me question, like, even though Brian France is technically the owner and chairman of NASCAR, how much control does he really have of the sport nowadays?
I think it's fair to say that he doesn't make any decisions on his own. He definitely
he has a bunch of yes men who basically agree with him. That's the whole thing.
It's Monster. I think Monster actually is, at least right now, whoever the big sponsors are, I really think have, the end say in it. I think he can propose something, but I think, for instance, this current playoff system, I really don't think this was as much Brian France is doing as much as, especially with like stage points, stages throughout it. I think it was more a bid to get and then keep Monster Energy in play as a title sponsor, because they, I think it was until about 2 or 3 months before the 2017 season when Monster jumped on, before they actually had him signed on. I think that Monster really, if they want something, and whoever the title sponsor or the official sponsors moving forward will be, whatever they want is what we're going to get. Now, if they hear that from the fans and, let's listen, do this, I think we'll get what we want, from that regard. But I really think that it's more of a council at the top, and I think Brian France is more of the podium speaker than the president, vice president, or cabinet member at this point.
Hey, I just want to give a little warning to the chat here. Everyone's just typing F. I'm not even sure why, so just cut that out.
So I guess now, with GriffDawg on and stuff, he can talk about his summer series really quick. So you want to go into detail what it's about and all that?
I guess. So I'm doing this huge event called the Summer Showdown. I Started in 2015, did it in 2015, 2016. Did not do it in 2017 just because I've been doing some life changes, like including getting a full-time job, which I still have now. But it's just a big kind of like series, and I think what really inspired it was the prelude to the dream, where you had like these different cars, and well, not the same cars, but like different teams, different combinations, more kind of like what if in the modern world. And then also another inspiration from that was like, because you see nowadays, like barely 40 cars are making a race, like 39, 38. So another what if is, what if there were more like active cars that could be racing like at the same time or at once? And so the Summer Showdown is just this big race that's fantasy. So like none of the drivers or sponsors are affiliated in any way whatsoever. Just my complete thoughts and ideas. And it's kind of funny because every time I've unveiled a car online on either Twitter or Instagram, I get like one or two people that ask like, "What's the Showdown?" Or like they get fooled and they like thought it was a real like car that I made. And it's really funny because there was one driver. What was his name? He drives the 15, Robbie Lyons. That's it. He like actually saw my Harrison Burton car that I made, and he actually thought like Harrison Burton was making his Cup Series debut in that car. So I had that going. Yeah. And then also another car driver, who was it? Julia Landauer. So I had her driving another like Penske car, and she commented on it and she was like, lol, #yes. And it's like, oh shoot. And the thing is, with all my unveilments, which by the way, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, it's GriffDawg Real, all one word. I never tag any of the drivers that are in this race. So the fact that like Julia Landauer or truck driver Jordan Anderson, I made a car for him, and he quoted my tweet, and he's like, "Whoa, is this an Aero 2003?" And he like noticed me, and it's like, "Whoa, a big superstar noticed me." But I'm getting beside that. So anyway, the Showdown is in North Wilkesboro. So I see in the chat a bunch of people are like curse of North Wilkesboro. But no, I'm gonna like have North Wilkesboro be the place, and like I just want to prove that it is a great racetrack and that NASCAR should go there. And so I have 80 cars. I'm still unveiling them. I currently have 69 nice cars going so far. And
so you're almost done. You're almost done.
Yeah. So my most recent upload was I decided to have Greg Biffle in the Showdown, and I went with the number 69 nice Hardee's car. And so I decided to kind of throw it back to his 2003 rookie car, but I added some flair to it to give it that Hardee's look.
I don't think I saw that. I'm gonna go see it right now. I didn't see it yet.
Yeah, it was one of my latest tweets. But and it's actually really funny because one person actually tweeted and he said like Hardee's and 69. That is a great combo. But then Hardee's themselves replied to that tweet with the word "nice." It's so weird. Yeah. And again, I did not tag Hardee's or anything, but they saw it and they're just like, nice.
And also, don't forget Dylan Smith. He saw your custom car too, as well.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And actually, I wanted to thank you guys because when I listened to that podcast, and I mean by listened because I actually listened to your guys' podcast at my work, Dylan Smith seemed like a good guy. And I definitely think he deserves more than what he has going right now. And
deserves a truck ride. He deserves a truck ride.
Speaking of Dylan Smith, he is most likely going to be back on in the near future.
Oh, we were gonna. Oh,
really?
Save that for the end. Save it. We'll announce it at the end.
Save it the one I was going to saving it all for later.
I'll just go ahead and won't say when, but he'll be on in the near future.
Yeah, and somebody else, but we'll save that for the end though. So, but yeah, I just saw this the Greg Biffle card, man. That's really nice. Also, I guess I want to ask, can you give us any hints on like who the final? Well, you already did 69, so who are the final 10 drivers going to be? And please, hopefully, Junior will be in this. I hope, since you're bringing it back, because I saw Ward Burton's coming back and Jeff Burton's in this as well. So I mean, you're bringing back a ton of old. Yeah, so I'm assuming we're going to see some more old drivers possibly.
Yeah, so I'm not just going to like straight up spoil and say, oh, he's going to be in or he's not going to be in, but yeah, I would say it's a fair mix of drivers that you love and a mix of upcoming drivers. Because one thing I wanted to emphasize too, this is not like Darlington, like the throwback race, even though I have made a few throwback cars. This is just again like the whole what if thing, like like Jimmy Johnson. Like I don't know if you guys talked about Jimmy Johnson's throwback car yet. The 2012.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, like, the last year for Lowe's being a sponsor, and they have not really one of the greatest paint schemes ever. It's not the worst, but they throwback to the worst.
Yeah.
And also that scheme, that wasn't the only time that scheme was ran. The last time that scheme was ran was 2014. So you're basically throwing it back to a car from 2014.
They're going back to that one?
Yeah. Basically.
Did you not see it?
They should have went back to like 2006 or 7. That one was awesome. Or 2005. God.
Or Mike Skinner.
I went back to 2002. No big deal, but
But a lot of people are wondering with Lowe's last race at Miami, are they going to have something even better for that one?
Maybe they might.
I hope so.
Yeah, for sure. But just going back to the drivers that are in. So one thing I will have to say, because I see like a bunch of people thinking like, oh, I hope this driver is in. Like, I hate to say it, but some people are going to be disappointed that a driver is not going to be in. And it's nothing against you, because surprisingly, like 80 drivers sounds like a lot. Not really, because at one point I had like 100 drivers listed, but I wanted to keep it down to like 80 so that I could at least have some limit, because I want to eventually run this race sometime. But it's been crazy. One thing I want to also add to, I hate that I don't have a set date for when this race is going to happen. And it's just because of work and time, because I'm still working 40 hours a week. I do have weekends free, which is awesome. But just because of how constricted time is, I don't have a set date yet for where everything's completed. And with like technology being so wonderful, because hearing you guys lag and everything is just fantastic, I don't have a set date yet. So I guess the biggest thing is just to kind of follow GriffDawg Real and then GriffDawg Official on Instagram, and then I'll give you guys an official date. And then one last thing I'll mention before we do move on to your guys' picks. I am like, I'll eventually have a video talking about it more, but I am open to having people help me with the Summer Showdown. So commentators, pit reporters, someone singing the national anthem, and someone to be like the Grand Marshal. And
Marshall. Yeah, like you're from Boston for a second, Marshall.
Yeah, Marshall. You know. Anyway, so I'm just, I'll be more. Sorry, Jaret.
I said I'll definitely sing. I'll
perfect.
after the show tonight.
I will sing the national anthem, but I will somehow, just for one incarnation, turn it into Despacito.
Oh, really quick. This huge wall cloud is coming over us. I'm going to turn on my camera really quick.
There is a tornado about to hit him right now.
Can you see it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at this. Now lightning will start flying up pretty soon here. They're like every 30 seconds or so.
What? So, tell me this. Why are you just sitting at a Kmart again?
What the? This looks like the apocalypse.
Yeah, it does. Like, it's even worse out here. Because I'm in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. I'm in the middle of nowhere right now, and this is the only place that has any internet connection.
That looks like lava rain.
Let me just ask you. Why didn't you just go home?
Because I want to finish this up. I'm like 20 minutes from our site, and yeah, I want to finish this. Plus, it's also pretty cool. Like it like has that like. You guys seen the newest Godzilla from like 2014? The way the spikes light up all blue is how the sky looks right now.
So if you hear a loud roar, that is Godzilla coming out right there.
In the middle of Wisconsin.
Literally, the girl who works at Kmart is out front taking pictures and video right now of this rolling in. Like
Kmart still exists?
Yes. See,
I'm just waiting to see a tornado drop right now.
Well, if the siren goes off, I will be running inside.
Wait, like what do you mean siren?
Like tornado sirens.
Like the tornado sirens.
Oh, well, I don't have that in Vegas, so.
There's these things in the Midwest.
Oh, yeah, because tornadoes are so frequent in Vegas.
Right.
Folks, we may be seeing the Iceberg's last stream here.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like all the orange is like falling off because it's just now sunset. But yeah, it's like hell is coming. There we go.
And also, Also, really quick, Iceberg, do you want to show him or no? You're going to save that for later.
I'll just do it now.
All right, wait, hold up. Oh,
Yeah.
I want him to guess. I was going to pull up a picture of who you're, who you basically look like.
To?
Yeah, hold on. I'll pull up a picture really quick.
Yeah, I'm keeping the camera off because it's. I've been lagging every time I have it on and. Blech. But yeah.
All right, let's see if I can find a. Oh, do I still have that image you have? Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to look up.
Twitter, man. Just
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. All right, I'll pull that up really quick.
Yeah, I'm watching Hell on Earth right now. It's there's literally lightning behind me too. It's crazy. There's like lightning everywhere but over us. And there's no thunder either. I think it's heat lightning because it's like, well, what's it right now? Oh, it's went from 86 degrees to 76 in the last few minutes.
I feel like we're watching the setup to the next Sharknado.
All right, so I'm going to share screen really quick. Can you guys see?
Hey, it's Dale.
Yeah.
So basically, he's throwing it back to the old, what would you call that, a beard? Well, I wouldn't say a beard, just like, basically. Yeah, so I guess you've thrown it back to the old goatee from like 2003 and stuff, so yeah.
Well, I mean, Jaret Edwards has been saying I look like I'm from 2002 with my hat backwards, so I might as well look the part.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and I'm just gonna show him. That's like that's what he sent me.
I'm like practically the same person.
Basically,
just scroll up and down with it, and just be like, yeah, practically the same person. It was like
Jared, can you do the Dozier accent?
Hell no.
I think I would have a better chance of doing it than anyone else because I've got the actual Southern accent here.
I've been told I'm pretty close.
My voice used to be a little higher, so it's like I could get that like when he would enunciate more with it. I guess you could say I'd sort of be more spot on. But yeah, no, I can't do that. Every now and then it comes out a little bit, but I'm just so if I like trail off in my thoughts or whatever, that's why. Just out there. Long story short, if I trail off in my thoughts, it's because the apocalypse is like upon me. Oh, now it stops.
Oh, good. It looks like it's getting closer to you for some reason. Oh,
wow.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's literally, I've seen it coming for like the last hour over the tree line, and I keep seeing like families running to their cars and stuff. I'm like, damn, how bad is it gonna be?
Oh, man.
Don't worry about it.
Maybe you should just go streaming Kmart. See if you can find a NASCAR diecast or something.
They don't sell diecast at Kmart anymore.
There used to be a cardboard cutout of Kyle Busch at this Kmart, but they got rid of it.
And pretty soon they're going to get rid of that Kmart as well. Okay, so now on to the picks.
I'm going to turn my camera off now. There you go.
So I guess Danny B, should we start getting into the picks now, man?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get into the picks here. So let's start off with our first segment that we do. The drivers we think are going to do bad. For me, I think, I'm not going to say he's going to run too terrible, but I'm going to say Kevin Harvick won't have that good of a week compared to how he usually is.
I think Ryan Blaney is going to continue to not be too great lately. So I'm going to say Blaney does something stupid.
Oh, yeah, he had a hard time at Sonoma.
I'm going to continue in this thread and say Ryan Newman is not going to do well this weekend. I don't think he's going to crash, but No Neck is not going to get a good finish.
Well, I'm gonna have this guy on my fantasy team just in case he's gonna be my garage driver because everyone always overhypes him every time, even though he hasn't won in like 3 years. Like it's about to be 4 years if he doesn't win this week, which I don't think he will. But AJ Allmendinger, I don't know. It's like something's gonna go wrong with him and stuff. It's like he always does it to himself. Do you guys notice that? He does it to himself. He overthinks himself. He's like, look, oh man, I got to win this season's on the line. And he just never comes through. So I just think he's just going to do bad. But just in case, though, just in case he might do good, I'll have him on the fantasy team just as a garage driver, though, just in case.
I mean, you've got until the second stage to put him in, so.
Pretty much.
For me, I would say I'll just go with the rookie William Byron. I don't know how well he did in the Xfinity Series with the road courses, but I just know that Byron really hasn't had that much experience going right. So if there's someone that's going to be bad, like I love Byron, I hope he does well, but I just don't think Byron's going to do well this weekend.
All right. Did we get everyone?
Yes. There's really no arguments there. I feel like all of our picks make sense.
Yeah, pretty much agreeing.
So our underdog picks. For me, I'm going to counteract Darian's spot here and say, AJ Allmendinger, don't see him winning, but I can see a top 5 finish this weekend.
If everything goes well, he'll get a top 5, but I think that I'm glad you brought that up, Darian, that he does seem to choke away these races the last few years. But he's not my underdog. I'm going to go with Daniel Suarez. I feel like I picked him as my underdog like 4 or 5 times this year. But he's been running a little bit better lately. I don't remember. I think he won a stage, I believe, in this race last year. I think it was his first career stage win. I feel like I remember seeing that, and I don't know where he finished, but that means he ran well. So I think Suarez, he's going to ride some momentum. I think he's going to have a solid day. Top 5, maybe top 8.
Thanks for 99 cents there, Brendan Nider.
I think that my sleeper underdog pick isn't really super underdog because there was a span where he couldn't finish any worse than like second or third. But I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski. I think he's a driver that when the playing field seemingly can be sort of level with a road course this week and strategy and play with probably one of the best strategic crew chiefs, I think Brad Keselowski and Paul Wolf can definitely get the job done. I think they'll definitely get a top 5 barring some disaster or road course stuff.
Wow. I am surprised nobody picked my underdog pick. I figured that would be the first one from you, Danny. You picked his teammate, though, Chris Buescher, who is very underrated when it comes to road courses. Got his first career Xfinity Series win on a road course. I believe it was Mid-Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. I believe in the Sonoma race, he finished inside the top 10. Or if he didn't, he was at least running inside the top 10. He was running in 8th place. I think it was like 8th or 7th place at one point and stuff. So definitely someone to watch out for and stuff.
I didn't pick him because I do think Allmendinger will get a top 5, but I could definitely see Buescher finishing within the top 10. Honestly, they share the knowledge that Allmendinger brings in, so that's good for their equipment for road course races specifically. Buescher is a fairly good road course racer, and yeah, I could definitely see him maybe getting a top 10.
Is that one guy racing this week as well? What's his name? Alon Day. He's racing this week too. I remember in his last Sonoma start. Okay, because everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's my underdog." So sorry, I just thought he was for a second.
No, that's fine. For my underdog, Danny, I love your shirt, by the way, because the shirt I'm wearing. See if I can back up here for a second. Chase Elliott,
Oh yeah.
As well.
Yeah,
I actually got that in Iowa this past weekend, which I'm surprised we didn't talk about. But yeah, we're so cool together, But anyway, Chase is going to be my underdog pick. His I want to say his first truck win came at Canada with that famous incident.
So controversial when he spun out Ty Dillon.
That was funny.
A little controversial, So Chase Elliott knows how to turn right. As usual, he's probably not going to win, but someone to look out for. And plus, don't forget, at Pocono, he got a stage win. So look out for Chase Elliott, but he's not going to win on Sunday.
Really, in general, I think Hendrick Motorsports could just be underdogs just to watch out for in general this weekend because they have been slowly making a rise. So we'll be interested to see how they all do.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now to our main picks. So for who's going to win this week.
All right. So I'm going to go on a limb here a little bit. Big Three ain't winning this weekend. I think Truex is going to lead a lot, but I don't think he's going to win it. I don't think it's going to be Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch will be up there in the top 10, maybe top 5. But I see somebody finally getting that first win of the year. And his first win at Watkins Glen, he's ran really good here in the past. But I see Brad Keselowski winning this weekend.
That's brave of you to not pick a Big 3 driver because, I mean, they literally, other than Boyer, who's a good road racer, so he could be a decent pick this week. I'm definitely not going to pick another non-Big 3 driver until they finally lose a race, because every time I go out on a limb and pick like a Blaney or a Larson or a Keselowski or somebody, it really comes back to bite me. I think I picked Larson this last week and he finished like 30th, so that was a whiff. So I'm going to go with Martin Truex Jr. He won this race last year. He's just consistent. I like what I want to say, was it Jared said about the level tracks where it's kind of like a level playing field? I don't know which one of you said that. Where like the driver matters more than the car at this track, and I think Truex has just got that consistent, steady way about him. I think he'll turn things. He had a rough week at Pocono. I think he'll turn things around and win. Yeah.
All right.
Well, Jared, I can tell it's raining here.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I'm not going away from Big 3 driver either. I've learned my lesson after this week not to say a Big 3 driver is going to suck, because I think Kyle Busch will win this week just to prove me wrong again. Not to mention that, again, I said that, with level playing field, driver mattering more. It's controversial. It's debatable, but I would say that Kyle Busch, probably talent-wise, is the most talented driver out there. He's becoming the most all-around driver in the field, it seems like, along with Harvick and Truex. So I think I'm going to go with Kyle Busch. He's been very consistently dominant and very good at the road courses, especially Watkins Glen, the past couple of years. I don't see any reason to bet against him unless Harvick or Truex shows why I should. So, yeah.
You guys missed a big opportunity this weekend.
Yeah, man.
If you missed, so let's go back to that Sonoma race really quick. This cat right here surprised me the whole weekend. He qualified inside the top 5. He basically ran up front the whole race and stuff. He actually had the most points, but he didn't win the race. He still got a top 5 finish though. And I remember having him and his teammate on my fantasy team that weekend, and that's actually my only fantasy win in NASCAR Nixon's league. So I was pretty happy about that. And I was saying, you know what? Next time when at the next road course, he's definitely going to get his first career win here. And also, this is sort of related to my Steve Park video as well, because it's kind of ironic on the when I upload my Steve Park, the week I uploaded my Steve Park video, we're actually going to Watkins Glen, where he got his first career win, by the way. So just take the whole question whether he's a bust or not out of the way and stuff. Fact of the matter is, he got his first official win at Watkins Glen, beating one of the best in the sport at the time, Mark Martin. And this guy, I don't know why y'all want me to do a bust video on this guy so much, but Chase Elliott is going to shock the world, and he's going to get his first career win of the season. He's going to get his first career win and his first win of the season.
He did get a top 5 at Sonoma, so
he got the most points.
We picked, the two of us picked Big 3 drivers, and you were like, "Oh, you guys left a big one out there, Chase Elliott, who's never won in the Cup Series." I don't follow that logic.
He's won the last two races. He's won a stage, and then last race he won a top 5. I figured. I figured a lot of people. I remember when he got a top 5 finish and he got the most points at Sonoma. I remember on Twitter that day and stuff. Everyone was just going berserk. They're like, "Oh man, that was he surprised everyone. He should have won that." He technically won the race because he got the most points. Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking about. I figured that's at least going to be one of your guys' picks for that for this week, but. Yeah, I think it'll all depend on where he qualifies and stuff. If he can at least qualify inside the top 10, I think he'll win. He'll finally get it done.
I expect him to run around 6th or 7th. I don't know, win. Yeah, you gotta beat Truex and Busch and Harvick, and you might beat one of them, but you're not gonna beat all 3.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Eric. I'll look for him to run maybe in the top 5, but I'll look for Elliott to have a better chance of winning, around Michigan, Bristol, something like that.
Michigan, especially. He's very good at Michigan.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I guess I'll pick my winner then. So going back to Sonoma, he was pretty good. He was up there. He was leading a lot, but because of strategy, he did not win at Sonoma. So at Watkins Glen, he is not going to get duped. He's actually going to stay up front, and he's going to make the right calls. And I think Kevin Harvick will get his 7th win of the season at Watkins Glen, and it's going to be kind of boring, but whatever.
I think the way you said that made it perfect.
It's going to be kind of boring, but whatever. That's funny.
So no duplicates. We all picked different people. That's interesting.
Okay,
Yeah,
bye,
that's right.
Darian.
I'm getting my charger.
Low key, I was originally going to say Martin Truex Jr., but I wanted to be different.
Oh, hey, Darian, I like
I'm
that
gonna
shirt you
mute-
got.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna
thanks.
mute myself for a bit,
appreciate it.
so until this rain dies down, or I can add something substantial in, because this rain is annoying as hell.
Gotcha.
Well,
So,
we'll
yeah,
miss him.
so we were all different in all of our picks, by the way. I don't think that's ever happened.
That's happened before, but it's been a while.
I don't remember, but probably at some point.
Yeah. I don't know. Like a lot of people, I know some people. I guess I got mixed reactions with my pick and stuff. I saw some people like, Darian, what are you smoking on? And then someone else was like, oh yes, like true, like I agree with that too. So yeah, hopefully he does though. Hopefully he can finally pull it off. I mean,
Sorry, Brennator left a super chat here. Who has the best victory celebration? Anymore, I would say. Right now, I'd say it's a tie between Keselowski's American flag when he does a burnout and Kyle Busch's bow. But I mean, it's all time. I'm gonna say Edwards with the backflip. I mean, that's pretty cool.
all with Kyle Busch. Don't forget the looking at.
I was gonna say Kyle Busch. I like his celebration until he did that. Now he's discredited any future celebration in my eyes. So yeah, no, he's probably my least favorite celebration. I like Logano, Dream 12 Chaser says Logano. I don't know about his burnout. Burnouts are fine, but I like how he comes out with the steering wheel. I do kind of like that.
Yeah.
He's part of his logo, too. I think that's kind of a cool thing.
Let me think. I would say Daniel Hemrick once he finally wins a race, because you guys know he can do backflips, too.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
they did
hurry
a
up and win,
special
Daniel.
on, I think either NBC Sports or Fox Sports. They did a little thing, and Cameron's like, "Yeah, man, I can't wait to win a race. Then I can pull Carl Edwards into a backflip as well."
Well, hurry up, man! Hurry up and win.
Yeah, he's like, is he leading the Xfinity standings now?
Actually,
or something like that? He's up there.
I was just about to bring that up, dude. The Xfinity Series standings. If this is one of the reasons I say, man, let's stay with the consistent point system because we would still have great battles. Right now, the Xfinity Series standings, they are close. Really close right now. So I'll just pull them up. I'll pull up the regular season standings.
Darian.
Oh, you do?
So
While you're doing that,
yeah,
really quick,
so-
my favorite current one, and I think I'm surprised you guys didn't go with this too, is Kyle Larson throwing the steering wheel out while he does the burnout. I just think that's really badass.
Oh, that's
That
right.
blows up the tires.
That's right.
Right. But so going back to the Xfinity standings, so the top 5 are within 52 points with Christopher Bell in the lead, then Elliott Sadler back 16 points in second, then it's Cole Custer third with 18 points back, then it's Daniel Hemrick with only 23 back in fourth, and then Justin Allgaier is 52 in fifth, but then Brandon Jones is sixth, but he's like 123 points back. So yeah, it's close.
Did you guys hear what Christopher Bell said today? His comment about how he doesn't want to waste any more of his prime in the Xfinity Series. Like he doesn't want to be in the Xfinity Series next year. He wants to be in.
Yeah.
Hey, if he thinks
him.
he can move up and stuff, then hey, by all means, give him a shot.
I don't blame him. He kicked ass in the Truck Series and moved up, and now he's doing well in the Xfinity Series. I can't blame him for being a little impatient, seeing I mean, the talent pool right now and how the young drivers are doing. I could totally see him being confident enough to be like, listen, I can do this. I can do better than them.
Yeah,
And he
no, I
wants to
think
get
he's completely
paid.
right.
He wants to get paid too, because I'm assuming obviously the pay and the salaries in the Cup and Xfinity obviously tremendously higher. But yeah, he wants to get paid too, though.
I'm sorry, I missed out. Who was this about?
Christopher Bell. He wants to
yeah.
move up to the Cup Series because he's wasting time apparently in the Xfinity Series.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, he's got a long time in his career. He's still really young.
How old is he?
I think he's 22 or 23.
So, I mean, he's around our age. I could totally see someone, he's really young. He's seeing that this could be an opportunity that could slip away. He's seen it happen to other young drivers. I can't help but to, see from his perspective, him being like, listen, come on, I'm proving myself. Let me up. I personally think that he would benefit from another year, but.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, if he thinks he's ready, go ahead. By all means, move him up.
The only thing is just that you just got to make sure that there's going to be funding. Because Joe Gibbs, he can't put him into a ride. Like, he's not going to get rid of Denny or Kyle, and I don't think he's quite ready to get rid of Suarez. I mean, that's still a project that needs more time. But at the same time, I don't think that Furniture Row is in a situation to bring back another car because they're already struggling to get enough funding for Truex, it looks like.
Yeah, that's the big question is funding for him, because I honestly think if he's more talented right now I think if he came into the Cup Series now, he could win a race in his rookie season. I think he is next to Larson. He's the most talented young driver I've seen come up through the Xfinity Series. But it's about finding funding, and Gibbs, there's nowhere he's going. The Suarez is going to stay there at least through 2019. Jones, I think he's a future champion. Hamlin's got to deal with FedEx for like the next 4 years, so he's not going anywhere. Kyle Busch, obviously. So it's going to come down to if he stays with Toyota. And here's another thing I read recently about Furniture Row's deal with JGR ends after this season. So there is a real possibility that they could not even be associated with JGR in 2019. And if that's the case, they might not even be Toyota. Then you really don't have that as funding's going to be an issue anyways, but now that may not even be an issue if you have fun.
That could really break up the domination of the big three as much as, the information passed back and forth. It would definitely hurt Furniture Row not to have Gibbs support. I think any other team, even Stewart Haas, wouldn't offer this as good a support and both information as well as mechanical backing as Gibbs would. I think Gibbs, would also hurt because there's probably stuff that Furniture Row has figured out. I mean, 8 wins last year is a testament to that they wouldn't have thought of. So I really think that could open the door for someone like, and then with Ford changing, that could completely open 2019 up to just being who knows? You could just throw it on the ground and go from there.
Perhaps though, with Truex and Furniture Row, shoot, they got Toyota a championship. They could actually get factory support now. I don't know.
And also, I saw NASCAR Opinions. He tweeted this out on Sunday morning. I saw this. I was like, this could be a potential dynasty, and it probably won't happen. Get McMurray out of the one. Put Christopher Bell in there. Him and Larson are teammates, both former, both Snowball Derby winners and stuff. If you get them on the same team, I think that's a dynasty in the making. They'll win a lot of races and stuff and a lot of championships together.
That'd be interesting.
Get on a better overall team, because I still think Larson is holding Ganassi. Wherever McMurray is, I think is where Ganassi as a team is, and I think that Larson is definitely holding Ganassi higher than it should be running right now. And I think that Christopher Bell would be the same way. It'd sort of be like when you see a good player in the NBA or NFL, and you see their team is, like 6-10, 7-9, or in the NBA, they're barely making the playoffs, and then they leave and they're complete garbage. I think that's what Larson and potentially Bell would be for Ganassi. I think if you had those two running the row equipment, I think you'd talk about a potential dynasty.
Yeah, Bell will probably be the missing piece, and that team would start contending for wins on a weekly basis, once that, Chevy gets all back. I don't think it's actually going to happen, but Bell might, with Bell saying this, he might just say, you know what, screw it, I'm leaving. I'm going to go to, whoever's the highest bidder,
I think
he might just leave.
Jared in the chat says Gibbs will never let Bell go, and it's like at some point he's gonna have to put his eggs into one or two baskets. He's either gonna have to go with Suarez or he's gonna have to go with Christopher Bell. And I think all of us here would agree Christopher Bell has a
higher ceiling, much higher ceiling.
I've said this for a while about Joe Gibbs. He has backed himself into. Oh, Gosh, Eric, you keep coming in and out. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I've been saying this for a while. Joe Gibbs has really backed himself into a pretty bad corner right now with how much talent he really has. Because not only does he have all the drivers in the KBM system right now and all the drivers that he's got in the Xfinity Series programs, but he's got a bunch of super late model connections. He has connections to the K&N Series. He has connections in the ARCA Series. Like I think MDM.
Yeah,
MDM.
MDM. Okay, not Riley Herbst. Okay,
No,
MDM.
no,
Yes.
we're not talking about that. MDM has a really strong relationship with Joe Gibbs Racing. So there's so much potential future talent there, but you can't put them all into the Cup Series.
See, that's a good problem to have, though, is to have too much talent and not enough places to put him. Because even if he sticks with Suarez is going to be, I think he's a playoff driver down the line. He's obviously very marketable. He's got the entire country of Mexico behind him. That's a big deal. I just think, Christopher Bell is, you never want to let him go. It's tough between you're picking between LeBron, Kobe, and Michael Jordan, and it's like which one are you going to let go? That's unfair because I'm not going to sit here and tell you Eric Jones or Daniel Suarez is going to be like the greatest of all time. But I'm just saying, like, you got 3 playoff drivers. I would say,
and also
at least in the near future.
Also,
pick 2 of them.
Noah Gragson, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got to come up pretty soon.
There's gonna be no stopping Gregson. Gregson's gonna be a really good one in the future.
And I mean, Joe Gibbs has to make a tough decision. I don't think it's really tough. Every competitive team's goal is, as far as finding talent, you should be like, oh man, I think this guy can win a championship for us. And if you're gonna toss it up between Suarez and Bell, it's not even close. You got to kick Suarez out of there. And put Bell in that car.
You look at a few years ago. No, it's more than a few years ago now. It's 10 years ago or so. Joey Logano. I mean, the greatest up and coming talent since sliced bread, and he performed like garbage, and he didn't fit in Joe Gibbs. He goes to Penske, and immediately results start changing. He starts getting better. Maybe that's what Suarez or I wouldn't say Christopher Bell as much, but maybe that's what drivers need. I mean, maybe it's just Gibbs isn't the right fit. I mean, you see it with, even in other sports. Drew Brees, he did not look that great when he played for San Diego and went to New Orleans, and he was the greatest thing ever. It's just, I think that's the biggest problem for Suarez is he does not fit in with Gibbs, especially you see the other drivers with them. They're very outspoken drivers. They're very aggressive drivers too. And while he might be aggressive and speak his mind, I just don't see someone like Suarez fitting in as well with those drivers, with a Christopher Bell, with a Noah Gragson. I personally think that Suarez has all the talent that some of those other guys have, a Joey Logano might have. I think the problem is I don't think he fits Gibbs, and I think that there's this mold that is sort of forming around Gibbs drivers that Suarez, he's not going to be able to finagle himself into. I think I think he would fit. Honestly, I think he would. And this isn't because Logano went there. I think he would fit better at Penske, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I've been thinking for a while that sooner or later, Penske's going to become a 4-car team.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to just say quickly. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, I think the 21 car could.
Yeah, you guys are lagging again.
If Paul Menard went somewhere else, 21 car could be Suarez's.
It should be Bubba's, but that's okay. Suarez, he probably deserves it. He obviously deserves it more, though. At this point,
he is a champion in NASCAR.
Yeah, exactly. So,
which
to get some leeway.
Granted, I'll give Bubba this. He didn't really get enough chances to have full-time rides to try for it. So,
yeah, but I just think when you look at the stat sheet, that champion. Even if it's Xfinity or truck, it still shows up, man. And I think that Suarez Suarez deserves more than one chance with good cup material. God, I'm lagging in real life right now. Like brain to mouth connection is not happening.
And I guess since we're I guess I brought up Bubba really quick and stuff. I just wanted to say this. So if you didn't hear, he signed a 2-year contract extension So he's going to be racing there next year. And if you follow me on Twitter, I was like, I've been very vocal about Richard Petty Motorsports. I was pissed and stuff, but I saw some of your guys' replies and stuff like that, and NASCAR opinions was like, yeah, does he deserve it? Yes, and stuff, but I think he's got to prove himself first. And, you're right. And I totally agreed with him in that. And then I watched the press conference the next day. He seems to be all thrilled with it and stuff like that. So I'm thinking to myself, like, why now it'd be one thing if he was upset, like if there was like no rides available and stuff, but he seems to be upset with it. He seems to be comfortable with where he's at right now, by all means, so basically what I'm trying to say is, right, I probably been a little too negative about that, about Bubba's whole situation and stuff for next season. If he's happy with it, then by all means, I'm happy with it and stuff. I guess the end goal is I would like to see them make the playoffs at least one of these next 3 years. And he has said, I think he did mention in the press conference, this is his team for now and stuff. So, he's looking forward to the next 2 years with them, 2019 and 2020, and then maybe seeing, what'll be what other rides will be available down the road and stuff, because I don't think he's going to stay there forever. By all means, if he starts to run good, if he starts to run consistent, then by all means he can stay there and stuff too, and start and build that team back up. But I'm just saying I'm supporting him 100% on this, and wish him the best.
We're sitting here talking about drivers that we could see switching teams and stuff, and saying maybe Suarez go to Penske. I'm thinking something else here, and I realized Denny Hamlin did a short contract extension. I'm not exactly sure when the contract runs out. It might be at the end of this year, it might be at the end of next year. But either way, I think no matter where Hamlin went or goes, I think that FedEx will follow, and I think that he's fine on a sponsor. I could honestly see Hamlin going to Penske and possibly them even getting the number 11 and just running it in the Penske font.
You mean the number 11 would move over with Hamlin?
If they would go out and buy the number for it, but they could put him in a number. A number doesn't really matter. I'm saying that when it's time to do contracts, I could realistically see him going over to Penske too. He'd bring FedEx for sure.
Yeah, his contract's up after 2020, according to Nick Sant. I don't know. I can't see him. I just can't imagine Hamlin without not racing for Joe Gibbs. But when I was younger, I couldn't imagine Junior not racing for DEI. So it's obviously a possibility. But it makes sense with all the current talent we have now. So let's say his contract's up by 2020. Noah Gregson's moving up. He does 2 years in Xfinity, and then boom, he's in his ride for 2021. So I could see that.
Jared Edwards says, you bumped your head. Hamlin and Brad could never run on the same team. Well, I don't know. I honestly said the same thing about Logano and Keselowski at one point, but
didn't they also say the same thing about like Kurt Busch, Tony Stewart, and Kevin Harvick being on the same team?
Yeah,
these guys have all had arguments and fights with each other at one point in their career, and look at that. They're the best team in the league right now overall. Well, I guess it's a toss-up between him. Well, yeah, overall they are. All four of their cars are in the playoffs right now, so you could say they're the best right now. And also, really quick, lick the like button, guys. No one's mentioned that all stream, so lick the like button, by the way.
Yeah.
Danny, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Did you by chance see my 2016 Daytona 500 video that I made back in February of 2015? Because I predicted having Denny Hamlin going over to Penske with FedEx. Literally, as what you said, yeah. Only difference is he's driving 32 instead of 11, but
32.
Close enough. I thought that was really funny that you said that.
That is funny.
And then also one thing I want to mention too is going to Darian, because you said take some time, and what I could see as a comparison to is Martin Truex, because in 2014 when he first was with them, they were okay. They're not really memorable, but they weren't where they were now. But then in 2015 they made it to the Final Four. So I don't know if Bubba maybe is able to connect more with Drew Blickensderfer and Richard Petty and really make that
I don't like the
chemistry
crew
grow
chief.
together. Maybe
I don't like the crew
Drew?
chief. I think Eric could agree with me too. Look at 2009. They won the first two races together, and they didn't even make the chase, right? Is Eric there?
Who are you talking about?
Like Matt Kenseth. Like Drew Blickensderfer was Matt Kenseth's crew chief in 09. I don't think they made the playoffs that year. Well, I'll have to look that up really quick. But
they finished 14th in points that year.
I mean, if he can't help get Kenseth, one of the most consistent drivers in NASCAR Cup Series history, into a 12-team playoffs and stuff, I don't see him helping Bubba at all.
Vickers at Team Red Bull.
Yeah, he was in the playoffs that year.
Well, and you think at that year also there were a few superstars and good drivers who were pretty awful that year. Junior was awful. Harvick was bad. Boyer, who else was there? Burton, who had been very consistent the last 3 years, was bad. I mean, the talent pool around that cutoff was much lower than it was. I mean, Kyle Busch had a struggling year. You had all these amazing drivers with struggling years, and he still couldn't even get him in the conversation at Richmond. Like, so yeah, I think Blickensderfer, I don't see him as a good crew chief. Since closing in on 9 where I'm at, we want to do our announcements really quick.
Yep, I think it's a good time because we'll be shutting it down here in just a few minutes.
So, Jaret, you gonna say it or?
I'll say you say yours first. I'll say mine. Well, you already said Dylan, so.
All right, yeah. So basically, guys, I mean, I'm gonna say this again, but I didn't tell him what date. So Dylan Smith, had a conversation with him over DMs. I wanted to get him on the stream tonight and stuff, but he was very busy. So I said, how about September 12th with a certain other somebody? So Dylan Smith will be back on the NASCAR Weekly podcast on September 12th. So be on the lookout for that.
And then also September 12th, it's looking like we're going to be joined by Bill Lester as well. I went over emails with him. So Bill Lester should be coming on September 12th. You know, we'll have everything completely ironed out by then, but, so I hope y'all are looking forward to that.
Yeah, Bill Lester on the NASCAR Weekly podcast September 12th. It would be good to have two black drivers, one old generation and now like currently working in NASCAR and stuff. So yeah, it'd be great. It'll be really looking forward to that.
Well, then I'll show off my diecast.
I was about to say, Iceberg, you better have that thing front and center where he can see it. So
I'll have it in front of me.
Just hold it the whole time.
Yeah, I'll just be sitting there holding it one arm right next to my face, like, oh yeah, you know.
Hey, Brennan, that was a very generous super chat there with $4.99. He said he would love to see McDowell going to the 6, and Kenseth makes a 3-car team with McMurray and Larson. That'd be an interesting combination there for sure.
I don't know about all that. It's a good thought, though.
I don't know about you guys, but I'd say it's pretty good. I'm going to need to wrap up soon. If anyone else wants to keep going, though, can. But
it's okay. We're about done anyways. Looks like Jaret needs to try to survive the tornado. So
at this point,
yeah.
There is one thing I wanted to say, if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I wanted to mention a little bit just the fact that last weekend I was at Iowa Speedway. Like, I was actually at the track, and I actually had like pit passes and everything. It was a fantastic time. I guess the announcement off of that is I'm going to make a video like discussing it because I actually have like footage from the place, and I actually got 3 selfie pictures with Xfinity drivers. So I will talk about that and just talk about my time at Iowa Speedway. I wish I could have talked about more, but I know you guys want to wrap it up. So
no,
stay tuned for that.
Go ahead and tell us first the interesting opportunity you had there.
Yeah.
Tell us how that happened.
Sure. So it was really weird because I like purchased the tickets, and then I like on Twitter, it's like, yeah, I'm going to go to Iowa Speedway. It's going to be great. But so Xfinity Racing Twitter, like the official Xfinity Racing, DM'd me, and he was like, hey, I see we're going to the Iowa race. Do you want some garage passes? And I was kind of skeptical, and it's like, well, why me? What's going on? Because I didn't ask them. I didn't even tag them in anything. But they still reach out to me, and it's like, hey, do you want these garage passes? And it's like, sure. So come Saturday, if it's in focus, this is my garage pass. Nice little shiny thing. And yeah, it was completely free. And I didn't know why. And I still don't know why they were so generous with it, but I took it. So, but yeah, no, it was a good time. Took some pictures with some drivers, got really close to the racetrack, got inside the racetrack, was at the drivers' meeting, which was super freaking cool. And literally feet away from me was the winner of that race, the guy that we talked about for literally half an hour, Christopher Bell. I didn't get to talk to him, but it was really cool. And by the way, I know some people like the meme around me is Kyle Benjamin is my doppelganger. That's kind of the meme going around. And like I wanted to talk to him and I wanted to like interact with him, but like he was in the moment. Like he was so like I don't know if it was like a shy thing or like me where he like doesn't talk as much, but he like it was weird because while the introductions was going on, he was like sitting on the pit wall at Iowa Speedway, like listening to music in the groove and something like that. And I was like staring at him. I didn't even realize it, but I was staring at him for like 2 or 3 minutes, thinking like, man, is that really me? And once or twice, he probably like looked over and he's like, oh, why is this creep looking at me? So I wish I could have gotten a picture of Kyle Benjamin, but unfortunately that did not happen. And yeah, I could say he definitely kind of looks like me for sure. So yeah, I'll just stop there because I don't want to unveil everything because I am going to make a video talking about it. And yeah, I got some really good footage of the finish as well, which was super BA.
Nice.
And
badass.
And so,
Yeah.
so fun fact. So, you know, your first race was the Coke 600. So that was your second race, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. So first race, or I'm sorry, what was the question, Danny?
Your first race was the Coke 600 where we were supposed to take a picture there, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, that did not happen.
But that was your second race you went to.
Was Iowa? Yeah. So actually, just I want to make it a trifecta. I want to make it 3 races this year, and so it's still in the thought like planning phase, but I am thinking about going to Kansas this fall for the Cup race, heading down there for the playoff race. See, Kevin Harvick went again, boringly, but whatever, that's what it is. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan, and hopefully it all works out.
Well, if you can make it to Bristol, I have 1 extra ticket. So,
All right, yeah, I'll just fly on down and hang out with you for sure. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Iowa was great, and yeah, I think time to wrap it down.
yep. And we have Eric who's here, but he's got his microphone muted right now.
Yeah, sorry, internet troubles over here. My friend's place, they got that McDonald's Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah.
Gotta get
It's
that
free,
Wi-Fi.
but it's
Get that free Wi-Fi off that Big Mac. So,
it's straight off the dollar menu.
Gotta get that Kmart Wi-Fi, man. Blue light.
Oh.
Jared, so I'm curious. Have you been just sitting there like running your gas all this time?
On and off.
He's gassing himself.
I'm
He's
literally,
Ooh.
I'm literally charging my phone as we do this because if I don't,
I was about to say, how is your phone still alive?
I'm charging it. Literally, like the gas hasn't went down at all, so that's pretty cool.
nice.
I
I've
remember.
got the AC off and everything off, so it's like everything should be running at a minimum right now, and the
I remember-
apocalypse has passed. So
I remember
Nice.
one time Dale Jr. put something out on Twitter that I think he left his truck like on for like 8 hours in a parking lot, and he for like I don't know how he forgot to just turn his truck off and how it didn't get stolen, but like
yeah, a dude I went to high school with actually locked his keys in his car, and the car like stayed on running the entire weekend. It was like 10 below the whole weekend. The car just kept running.
Oh,
It was
no.
incredible. It's like super fun.
Wow.
I think it just goes to show that a car idling just will waste a whole lot less gas.
Yeah, so it's like if you think you're like low on gas and you're like, oh, turn my car off, you probably will waste more gas turning your car back on than you would just idling for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And with that,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
So actually, I want to mention one thing. Speaking of gas, so I guess fun fact for you all: my initials spell gas.
Really?
Yeah, seriously, GAS. Yeah, my middle name. Do you guys want to give a shot at what my middle name is?
Ellen.
Alan.
Albatross.
Ass.
Yeah, Eric, you're so right because my parents like they see me and it's like
Freaking
Albatross.
killed it.
That's got to be my middle name. Let's go.
Albatross.
That's literally no. Whoever said Alan, yes, my middle name is Alan. So like
Nice.
Alan Kowicki, So
Well, I was watching Jurassic Park 3, and there's a scene where like Alan.
yep,
Grant
I know
makes a
exactly what you're
dream.
saying.
Alan.
Yep,
Alan.
Alan.
Just watch Nostalgia Critics version or review of Jurassic Park 3, and you'll never get that out of your head for the rest of your life.
Well, fun fact right back at you. My initials spell out Dlub. So,
Thank God, I thought it was going to be Dab.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be Austin
That's
Dillon
what I
for a
thought, too.
second.
My middle name's
Mine
also
spell-
Alan. Dab.
And my initials spell JDL.
Bless you.
Diddle.
JBL. Hey, that's a WWE reference.
Like the
JBL,
company.
one wrestler.
I guess what would DRG sound like?
Dirge.
Like my Dirge.
Deary.
no.
Dr. J.
Dr. J.
Dr. J.
I was thinking
Okay.
Dirge for any Star Wars fans out there who might know that.
Oh, there we go. The Star Wars references.
This is where it goes downhill.
Eric, I hope that your middle name is like Edward, so you can just be E.
No, mine, it's,
But then he'd be the Triple E Cup Series.
yeah, that's true. I wouldn't have missed out a chance to add an E to my name. You have to blame my folks for that one.
More E's, the better.
Yeah, just get all those E's.
I
You heard
just
of the big baller brand, the BBB or the EE?
Of course, man. Triple B's, man. They need to
Yeah.
sponsor Bubba. They take over the sport.
I just want to say that the Markiplier E meme is one of my favorites. So
Oh my God. Lee Majors in the chat got a very unfortunate. Has a very unfortunate initials. Goodness.
I can't see the chat.
That's okay.
Oh.
You'll see it later when you're older and more mature.
Well, someone asked, M asked, doesn't Eric have a girlfriend? Yeah, y'all went to Applebee's in like the same kinds of shirts, right? Or like different ones?
Yeah,
Yes,
and
we
Eric's
did.
like 6'7".
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, y'all
Yeah.
know how tall I am.
yeah, I took a screenshot of that and sent it over to my fiance, and I was like, can you believe Eric's that tall? And she was like, is the girl just really short or is he tall?
Yeah,
Yes.
she's like 5'5". I'm just a monster.
So,
But
Eric, I
love
must
a
ask.
monster.
So,
What-
Eric, I must
what?
ask you for your stop motions when you make your series. Is it like a pain to like bend over to like move the cars and then like take a picture just because of how tall you are?
You know, I've been waiting for somebody to ask me that after all these years. Because yes, I do have chronic back pain now as a result of my many years on YouTube. So I will likely be in a wheelchair by the time I'm 28. So my height will only be an advantage for years or so. But no, yes, actually, it does actually get annoying. I do cramp up sometimes.
At
I'm
least
not gonna lie.
At least you're not Bobo, who is like 7'1", I think.
Oh God, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've seen there's some kids that grow so fast and they have like no meat on their bones. It's scary looking.
You know, hearing you talk about, you called yourself a monster. That just made me think of a great NASCAR parody. If like the cars became self-aware that they were in this alternate universe, and you're like actually there walking around as a big monster to them.
That's true.
I could see that. And it's just like, oh my God, are they moving me like one centimeter? Oh God, here we go. And then I get like anxiety over moving. Oh, that'd be great. If you promote that, I'm sure credit me.
Actually, a good idea for you to write down sometime.
Oh, I was wrong. Bobo was like 7'7". My bad.
Good God.
7'7".
Oh, no big deal.
All right.
Big whoop.
Well, I was just about to say it's like 7:08 my time and stuff. So just wanted to see if everyone was ready to do their outros.
Yeah,
I
we can
get
still wrap it up.
I'm really bad, man.
Get that Kmart. Save yourself.
Well, I'm gonna get through the whole stream. I'll get through the whole stream without it,
What a trooper. What a man. That is the most manly specimen I've ever had the pleasure of hearing through Google Hangouts.
Exactly.
He is weathering a nightmare.
man.
He's weathering a nightmare of all storms in the middle of nowhere, talking on his phone by a Kmart that isn't even supposed to exist anymore.
Yeah, I
What a
did.
hero. He's a legend. He's a myth. I hope he can hear me.
I got a shirt idea.
Oh,
He hasn't sold a shirt in a long time though.
Yeah,
That's
someone
so
wanted
rough.
me to make a video on that. NASCAR bus Jaret's shirt sells. Someone wanted me to make me a
There's not
video
enough
on that.
material to make a bust on.
Right.
oh.
Hey, you sold one shirt to what? Grant Oberman?
Yeah, and then like everything got deleted. So sorry.
Put on your head.
All right, should we do our outro?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go first. I'm the Iceberg. You can subscribe to my channel because remember when I hit 1,000, I get to torture myself with 50 Shades of Grey. Yay! And then also follow me on Twitter at IceTitan80. And if you see me, if you're in the middle of nowhere near a Kmart, I may be there. So I'm watching you, great car.
And I mean, it's going to be easy to find. There's only like 2 Kmarts, so.
Yeah, you got 50-50 shot. Book your plane tickets now.
Okay, next.
I guess I'll go next. So, it's been an honor to be on the podcast again for the second time. It was fun talking to you guys about NASCAR, Christopher Bell, Bubba, the fact that Eric is 6'7". Yeah, it's been great. At when I get to my next mark, which will be 4,000 subscribers, I am not going to do what Jaret does, but instead I'm going to show off all my diecasts that I have. All, what am I at, 500 something? So yeah, subscribe to my channel. Summer Showdown's going to happen soon, and yeah, good things are going to happen. I'm sorry things are slow, but with work and everything happening at once, it is what it is. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you next time.
Yeah, so you just mentioned 4,000 subs. I think I'm close to that. I think I'm like 20 or 25 or 30 away from that, so I might get that tomorrow. So
Darren,
yeah,
you
definitely got
kicked
that.
my butt.
I mean, I think I might reach that tomorrow. Hopefully I do. But yeah. But anyways,
I hope you do too. Yeah.
thanks. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's podcast. Notice the last uploads blowing up pretty good right now, I guess, and I guess in mostly a good way, you could say. It blew up so much, even Ultimate Dragon 23 commented on my video. It's the first time this never happened before. So yeah, the official YouTube meme of the NASCAR community commented on there. So that's pretty cool, I guess. And also just hearing your guys' opinions and stuff on it, and just being able to maybe change your guys' perspectives on like certain topics and like maybe certain drivers and stuff is what I like to do. So yeah, so just keep watching for that. Also, I'm gonna go back to 1 upload per week, not 2 anymore. I don't know, I was feeling a little burnt out with that and stuff, because I was like, I had because it was cool at first for like the first couple of videos, but then after a while I was like, oh man, I have to put 2 uploads a week and stuff, or I'm not doing something right. So I'm just gonna go back to 1 a week. I might do a poll saying next week, what video you guys want next week, like either a bad seasons, a bust one, or good seasons, or maybe a gone too soon one, or just some random video y'all want me to make, or even a new series. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. But anyways, just say if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go subscribe, or go subscribe to all of our channels, and you'll get some great content. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.
And real quick before he gets a chance to say anything, I just want to say our next person is about to sign off here, Eric Estepp. Y'all, let's get him 25 more subscribers. That guy is just about at 70,000. Good job, Eric.
Thank you very much. I got to get off that. I got to get off that dreaded 69 over there. The meme needs to die.
Nice.
Noise.
But so the big 7-0. No, but this has been fun here tonight. Thanks again to GriffDawg for coming on. Kind of last minute, but it's fun talking to you. Fun talking to all you guys. Thought we had a lot of good, interesting, in-depth conversations. If you missed it today, I uploaded an Out of the Groove episode where I talked about the rumored aero and rules package for next year. I kind of gave my passionate thoughts on their packaging, a nice 10-minute video, so you can check that out. Otherwise, subscribe to me. Follow me on Twitter at Eric Estepp17 or on Instagram at Eric Estepp. And I'll see you guys around. Thanks, everyone, again. And it's been fun.
All right, and I'm the last one to close this out as I am the host. Thank you all for coming out and watching this one, and it's been fun with all the people we've had on here. We watched Jaret survive the storm of the century in a Kmart parking lot. We have seen Eric is definitely ill or something.
Also, really quick, what channel is next week's podcast going to be on? Someone keeps asking that.
I was just about to bring that up.
Oh, okay.
Can't be sure, but it might be on Iceberg or potentially Eric. I'm not sure yet.
I think it's on mine. But it's on our Google Doc thing.
Oh, next week, though, we will be starting at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be having a special guest from Bristol Motor Speedway. He is the head of media relations there, Mr. Drew Bedard at Bristol Motor Speedway. He's going to be with us promoting the Bass Pro Shops night race coming up soon, so that'll be pretty fun.
That'll be cool.
And aren't we having someone else? Or is it just him? I thought we were having someone else on.
We'll have to check our schedule.
I think it's just him for now. So
yeah.
Yeah, we'll make announcements on Twitter this week.
And, before anyone asks, we're still trying to arrange things with a certain NASCAR driver that we just won't really mention his name anymore until we have it confirmed. So we'll just put it at that. And, yeah, that's it. Thank you all for watching and hope you all have a great night. This has been Danny B from the NASCAR podcast. I put up a video today talking about a track preview for Watkins Glen on iRacing. Go check it out. You'll enjoy it. Have a good night. Bye, everybody.